Mike Missanelli Show on the air. We got baseball today and baseball tonight. Rain out yesterday. A miserable evening for everybody concerned. A miserable spring continues here in the Delaware Valley. But the issue has been carried over for another day because when we talked about the retaliation thing, and it got a lot of legs, and I know, listen, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important to detail when you're talking about a baseball season and trying to win a World Series. I get it. But it is a nice little side topic because people are on both sides of the fence with this topic. So today, the Phillies get another opportunity because yesterday or 2 days ago, people were saying, well, you save it. You do it for the right time. Well, maybe today's the right time. Maybe the Phillies are up 5-0. That seems to be the right time. Tonight, probably not the right time with Wheeler against Sale. So the afternoon game would probably be the right time. But it is interesting how people are on one side or the other. Now, I happen to zero in on a couple of tweets yesterday, and then I joined the conversation with one of the tweets. And I'll just give you an example. And we were hearing a lot of this on the text board yesterday about how the Phillies had to retaliate. So I'm reading a tweet by a guy named Drunk Phil's Fans. I am not, in caps, advocating for a Brave to be injured via HBP. However, at some point in caps, the Phils need to send a very clear message that hitting their guy, I assume meaning their star player, won't be tolerated. So that was answered back by a woman reporter who I happen to know when she was here. She worked here. She's now in Miami. Her name's Julie Brown. And Julie writes back to Drunk Phil's Fans, the clear message, in parentheses, in quotes, is to sweep the series by scoring as many runs as possible. So there is the great divide. Like the best way to combat jealousy is to live a life whatever that is. That saying.
You're close.
The best revenge is living life well, something like that. And that's kind of like the clear message is to sweep the series by scoring as many runs as possible. Now, the people of old school baseball, like moi, really don't subscribe to that. So I was just going back and forth with Julie. And I write, and this is tongue-in-cheek, retaliation is king, Julie, with a smiley face. Now, that's kind of a sarcastic reply. This is what I get back. I always taught my kids to take the high road. Philly fans who advocate violence and other childish behavior make us all look like heathens. So I go, but baseball is a game that polices itself through deeds like that. Her reply, gangs in North Philly do those same deeds too. One day someone, unfortunately, will get truly hurt over this, quote-unquote, manly stupidity. Well, it pretty much goes to the other side of it. It's like it's so immature to think about that you actually lose your dignity, and it's way beneath you to think of the barbarianism of retribution. But in real life, in real baseball, in real sports, it doesn't quite work like that. It's not a North Philly gang. It's a game within a game, and a game that is not policed by somebody throwing a 15-yard penalty flag. You see what I'm saying here? Bill Colarulo's with us. Ray Dunn is here. So we've got disparities on both sides of this whole topic. And depending on whether you're a pacifist like Julie here or whether you're drunk Philly fans, you got to do something about it to preserve your dignity. It's still a hot-button topic, Bill Colarulo.
It is still a hot-button topic. I mean, I've been reading social media as well. It seems like a majority of Phillies fans are with you on this, though. They want some sort of retaliation. Now, I don't go as far as what downtown Julie Brown's saying there, but I don't think that you need to throw at somebody today. Because what she's talking about is if you score more runs and you win and you sweep this series, Atlanta leaves Philadelphia 11 and a half games out in the East.
But dude,
to me, that means a lot more.
You can do that and still hit a guy. I mean, like, the two things can be the same, you know.
I just don't know like where it ends. And look,
listen, I'm not advocating for it today. The moment has passed for me.
So you wanted it immediately.
Yeah.
So now you think it's done.
In the context of what went on, immediately should have been done. And again, like I slice this into many different things. I'm not a total barbarian where I go, you got to get retribution in any minute. When the situation dictates it, the time dictates it, that's when you do it. Now, today, it's worn off a little bit, so the time might not dictate it. But the red-hot button that it was the other night and the opportunity in the second inning early in the game and maybe even the third inning early in the game were the perfect opportunities. Once it got to the sixth, I'm not advocating it.
See, that's what I'm not advocating for it at all. Like I don't
Surely
think
you must agree with that what I just said.
But I'm not advocating for all at it. Man, I can't get the word out. I'm not advocating for it at all. I told you that yesterday. But if they're going to retaliate, I don't see how doing it today or tonight or even in the next series. I mean, you still remember why. I mean, you could lie in wait. Hey, revenge is a dish best served cold.
That's what it was. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Is that the one you're looking for?
Yes.
So
I don't even know what that means. But anyway, it sounds
means
good.
that it means that you can wait. You know, you can wait to do it.
But again, like waiting, it's like the moment dissipates. It's like, the longer you wait, you're not going to remember this game and that you had to have the retribution on because Harper's okay. He's going to be back in the lineup today. So the moment, what I'm talking about, the moment is you felled him. He was out of the game. That was the moment. That's the moment of anger. That's the moment of retribution. The timing of it was perfect in the second or third inning. And now it's past.
I just don't think that – I know they're the unwritten rules in baseball, and we've talked about it before. It's just to me, it's like we know he didn't do it on purpose. He didn't. Now, was he trying to go high and inside on Bryce? Yes, he was.
You try to go high and inside and you miss, you should be accountable for that.
And I've seen some, and Kevin Cooney's in the YouTube chat saying the same thing. Harper's been hit too much in the last few games.
He has.
And if you got to make people a little bit nervous to throw high and inside on Bryce Harper, but then maybe Bryce is crouching, the plate a little much. Maybe he's got to back up a little bit. Maybe it's on Bryce a little bit too.
What?
Maybe he needs to back up a
You're
little.
asking Bryce to back off?
I don't know.
Are you insane?
Maybe he's getting a little too close.
Come on. A hitter, his batter's box is his kingdom. Now, he should not be stepping off the throne.
I'm being facetious a little bit. But how come then the two other times he was hit in the last few games, we weren't calling for retaliation? Is it just because it was Strider, or is it just because he got hurt?
Because he got felled, yes. Because he got hurt. He got knocked out of the game with a high inside fastball that a guy was trying to throw and was careless with it and hit him. Okay, again, you can throw inside, but when you're careless and you hit my guy and you knock him out of the game, you got to pay the piper. It's really simple. And I'm not trying to come off as this barbarian because it only works in certain situations for me. And I detailed perfectly what the situation was and why it was so ripe at that particular moment.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think if they're going to retaliate, though, I could still see them doing it at some point.
I can't see it today.
Now, I would be concerned, though. You had
they
said
won the first game of the series, so
they did.
They've got the edge now. There's no reason to retaliate, and that's what I mean. Once the moment passed, they get a chalk mark on the wall, and you don't.
Now, one of the concerns I would have is I said to you the reason I didn't want to see Rangers throw at somebody early in that game when it happened was I didn't want to get ejected. You said they wouldn't have ejected him without a warning. Is there any chance that prior to today's game, warnings are issued? Like, if Sanchez, who's starting game one, throws at somebody early, is there a chance he could get ejected?
No.
Because that would be my fear.
No.
In a doubleheader, you don't want to go to the bullpen that early in the game.
He's not going to get ejected. There's nothing out there that's that hot that an umpire is going to be on guard to eject somebody. Now, if something happens, he may issue a warning. He's not going to toss anybody. The umpires know what the score was.
Yeah,
they're aware of all this stuff.
Well, look, if the game's out of hand and you're talking about the unwritten rules in baseball, then I see them maybe throwing at somebody today.
But it doesn't have the same impact. That's what I'm saying. You got to take advantage of the impact. Impact is king. All right, here's how you get it. Another thing I want to talk about today, based on Kevin DeGandhi was on the morning show today. And he said something that I truly want to understand. He said the players that come here have to understand the city. And I'm going, I have no idea what that means. and I want people to explain why it is that some people, quote unquote, understand the city and other guys just play. 610-632-0975. The Mike Missanelli Show continues after this.
Connor Thomas.
.97.5 The Fanatic. I'll tell you something flat out. It ain't fun getting hit with a pitch at any level. But when it's 95 plus, it's no good. And hitters always get ticked off that, come on, man, know the strike zone enough not to hit a guy. You want to pitch in and out, you can do that, but get a little control going. They don't tolerate that stuff. It hurts.
Yeah, and it hurts so much that we just got a lineup for today and no Bryce Harper.
Well, there you go. So are they going to give him an extra few hours to rest to play tonight, or is he done for the whole day?
I don't know. We'll find out after the
All right, so there
game.
you go. At least 2 games they put this guy out for.
Yeah, he's not
And
playing.
you want the
tonight.
Braves not to pay for that?
I just keep looking at it. If he wasn't hurt, you would have still wanted them to throw at him, or no?
No,
It's only
if he
because
wasn't hurt, no harm, no foul. He shakes it off. He goes to first place. He got put out of the game with that.
See, here's where I think it's going to come down to whether or not they retaliate today. Is after the game, back in the clubhouse, what's Bryce saying? Like, does Bryce feel...
Bryce not saying anything.
He doesn't feel...
Bryce is hoping that somebody has his back. That's what baseball players do.
But as a leader in that clubhouse...
He's not saying anything. Guys do not want to order pitchers to do something they don't want to do. It's a taboo. They have to take it upon their own volition. That's why Rob Thompson can't say anything. It's like, Fregosi used to get, those barbarians would react crazily if that happened in 1993. And Fregosi would give a pitcher a look, like, you know what you got to do now. But it's not old school anymore. What I'm saying is, I get it, it's no old school. We've moved past that old school mentality. But that particular situation, Harper's been hit a lot. He's your star player. He's out of the game. That's a visceral moment.
I agree with you that Harper wouldn't tell them to do something. But as a leader in that clubhouse, there's also the chance that Harper may tell them not to do something, isn't there?
No.
You don't see Harper maybe saying, hey, boys, listen, win the damn series.
He has nothing to gain by saying don't do anything. Nothing to gain. They're going to still try to win the game in the series anyway.
All right, so we're going to see what happens. He's going to be, I guess, on the bench.
Today it really doesn't matter to me. I was fired up about it the day of. Today, it's like, if you want to do it, the starch has been taken out of it a little bit. Some time has gone by. So you don't have to store up this acorn.
You see, I'm on the record yesterday saying I was against retaliating at all. But if you're going to retaliate, I still don't see where your argument is it had to be done right in that game. You still have an effect by doing it today.
No, it's not the same.
You still stick up for your teammate today.
It's not the same. You watched your guy get carried kind of off the field. It's like, damn, they knocked our star player out? Well, something's got to be done next inning. That's the visceral part of it. That's what you're not understanding. The visceral part, the moment that it happened, dilutes as you go on. Who cares? They're going to save it up for midseason. Do we really care about that?
Well, no, midseason may be a little bit different, but there's 2 games today. I mean, they could do it at any point. Like you said, if they're up early today, 5-0 game,
maybe,
or even if they're down 5-0, maybe something happens.
Maybe.
Now, I don't think it would happen tonight. Like you said, you're probably in a pitcher's duel tonight.
Pitching Sanchez?
Today is Sanchez.
Sanchez may do it.
Tonight's Wheeler versus Chris
Sanchez
Sale.
may do it.
Maybe it's Sanchez.
Maybe, but again, it's a lefty. Let's see. Does he hit Olsen?
Yeah,
Would that be the guy he hits? I don't know.
Yeah, for a lefty to try to hit
Acuna's got to come across, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
Unless
like
a
you said.
right-hander can zero in on his buttocks and throw one and hit him.
Unless it's a bullpen. Who would be able to... Oh, you know who would be nice? Hernandez. 100 mile an hour.
That would mean they're losing.
Bring in Hernandez. No, or they're up like 7-0. You bring in Hernandez to throw his 100 mile an hour.
Now all of a sudden you're getting bloodthirsty.
Listen, if you're going to do it right, Ray. You know what I mean?
You bring in Hernandez, tell him to hit him, he might throw it in the strike zone.
Or he might make a mistake, hit him in the head. That guy.
If we're going to do this thing, you do it right. Now, I'm not a proponent of it.
Now, listen. The left-hander who throws in this first game's got the perfect slider to go down and hit a guy in the leg.
Talk about Sanchez.
Yeah. So
Maybe
that evens the score. He hits Acuna in the shin.
And then play it out. So Sanchez does that. I would feel at that moment.
All right,
ump comes out. Warnings.
Over.
No more.
And it's over.
All right. Maybe you're convincing me. Maybe
Little by little.
Maybe they should stick up for Bryce today.
That's we're going to go back to the text board in a second. We got 2 phone calls that we're going to hit on this topic. I don't want to beat it like a dead horse, but it's still a live topic because there was no game yesterday, and there are 2 games today where this could happen. And again, I still want to explore this concept of a player has to understand the city. Because I look at one of the most popular players that ever played here for a Philly, Chase Utley. Did he understand the city? Did he look like he understood the city? Like, he never said boo. What did he understand?
Well, what he understood was playing hard every day.
Oh, okay. That's what he understood.
And I think that is half the battle.
Is that understanding the city was playing hard every day?
I say half the battle. That may be 90% of the battle.
What's the other 10?
Well, it kind of goes along the same
I got to have it spelled out to me.
Wait.
Kevin DeGandhi said today on the morning show, players that come here have to understand the city. What does that mean? Give me the text.
What was he referring to? Like, what was the context?
I don't know what he was referring to.
See,
what
what-
were you referring to, Ray?
Were you listening?
They were talking today about Bryce Huff and whether or not he gets it because
Bryce Huff.
the optics of him not being there at OTAs.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But the whole general theme, a player, they must understand Philly. Well, what does that mean? 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader down at CBP. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies and Braves will play a day-night doubleheader today starting at 1:05. First pitch at Citizens Bank Park. Christopher Sanchez will be opposed by A.J. Smith-Shawver in Game 1. It'll be a battle of the top two finishers in NL Cy Young voting last year in Game 2 with Zach Wheeler and Chris Sale matching up at 6:45. Elsewhere in South Philly, the Eagles wrapped up their first 2 days of OTAs yesterday. We heard from a number of Eagles, including offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo for the first time. Patullo was asked about his relationship with Nick Sirianni and how he sees their dynamic working together.
I think there's a lot of fundamental things that we see the same way, but I do think our brains work differently. So it's a good back and forth conversational piece that we have constantly. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that he believes in that I believe in as well. And we're going to do those things. But I do think we challenge each other to grow.
Outside of Patullo speaking, two big storylines from yesterday's practice was Bryce Huff's absence and Cooper Jean getting some time at outside corner during a portion of practice. The Union won 2-1 last night on the back of a stoppage time goal from Kai Wagner. The win keeps the Union at the top of the Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like the 2025 E-Class, CLE Coupe, C-Class, EQE Sedan. Hurry now through July 31st. Learn more at MBUSA.com/dream. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic, 610-632-0975. Started off by going to the text board, Ray, where this lingering topic, it lingers, and we'll talk about so many other things today as well. But what are the people saying on the text board, and how different is it from yesterday?
Mark from Warminster, good morning. I'm frustrated how soft our society has gotten. It's a game. There are unwritten rules that have been there since the beginning. Hit a Brave and do it tonight. It's got to be Wheeler. He's got to do it closer when he's ready to be pulled, and he's got to send a message. What are we talking about here? I'm going crazy. It's a game. They hit us. We hit them. It's done.
What do you think of that, Bill? Mr. Dove.
Yeah, I just
He washed himself with Dove soap, Bill.
Dove soap. What do you do? What do you use? A little Irish Spring? Supposed to keep the mosquitoes off.
I use whatever soap is there.
I actually do use Dove, unscented.
I use
Irish Spring.
Very
That was a
sensitive.
good guess by you.
I'm a Dove man.
Yeah, Dove, unscented.
A Dove for men.
I don't know what it is. I got the bar.
You got the chick Dove.
Yeah, the sensitive skin.
The white Dove.
Yeah, exactly.
That's chick Dove.
Yeah, I knew Ray was probably Irish Spring.
Go ahead.
What gave it away?
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Mike is starting to convince me a little bit. Like, if it's going to make this team become... See, they already have a good culture. See, this is where I look at this team, and I think to myself, what would be the purpose in really doing this? Do they need to galvanize the troops?
Never be galvanized enough, Bill.
You're not wrong in that. I mean, but I just look at them. They are already close. To me, you have a chance to bury the Braves. You can leave this series 11.5 up on them. They're pretty much done. Why punch down? Why punch down?
Why punch down? Why can't you have both?
Well, because we all agreed. You agreed to. Strider, this was not intentional.
It doesn't matter.
But it was not intentional.
You keep going down there. It's not intentional. It has nothing to do with it. What was intentional was he was trying to get inside of Harper. And when you try to do that and you get it and you miss a little bit and you hurt a guy, you got to pay the rent.
I guess, man. I don't know. We had this debate yesterday. I just look at it as you risk more things going wrong if you retaliate.
How? What do you risk?
Well, because Ranger could have got thrown out of that game.
He would have got thrown
now
out.
You would have exhausted your bullpen.
He would have got thrown out of the game. A. B. It's the second inning. Like, what are we talking about here, Bill?
Yeah, if he would have got thrown out in the second inning,
he would have got thrown out.
You would have destroyed your bullpen.
He would not have gotten thrown out of the game.
All right, so he wasn't to get thrown out of the game. You seem to think if we retaliate, it's over.
Yes, completely. And the Braves know it's over. Braves players know what's at stake. Uh-oh. You knocked their best player out of the game. We might be getting chopped here. Boom, they get chopped, it's over.
See, I saw a pitch from Strider where he just lost control of the pitch. He lost control of the pitch. This wasn't one of these instances where a guy's trying to show up another guy or he was even trying to brush him back. I don't even think he was trying to brush him back.
I understand that Bill is like when I speak, Bill, it doesn't, nothing goes into his ear. Like he keeps going, it wasn't intentional. I've tried to explain my way through it. It does not matter if it wasn't intentional, and he's not listening to me, right? What do I do about it?
To be fair, he did say you're chipping away at him.
You are.
It seems like by the end of the show,
but he keeps going down the same narrative. Well, it wasn't intentional. Just the pitch he lost control of. Yeah, but yes. Precisely, that's the problem. It was a pitch he lost control of because he was trying to throw inside, and you hurt the guy.
I just don't see. Look, you keep saying I'm not a baseball guy. I don't see.
You don't have the baseball instinct.
Listen, I don't see this fake tough guy bravado.
It's not fake tough.
We're now going to throw at him.
Not fake tough guy bravado. It's leveling the playing field. It's
what
not
does
fake
that
tough
do?
Guy.
If you want to get
the playing field,
how does it level the playing field?
You want to hit our guy? Maybe you'll think twice about the next time you want to have a mission to go inside on Bryce Harper.
You really believe that?
Yes.
You really believe?
Yes.
You really believe that
because
if Ranger would have thrown,
if you do and you hit him again, guess what's going to happen?
I guarantee you that no matter what would have happened, Spencer Strider's still going to come up and inside when he has to on Bryce Harper.
Maybe he thinks twice about it. Maybe he's a little more careful not going that deep inside.
He didn't hit him on purpose anyway. That's what I'm saying. He lost control of the pitch.
He was close to hitting him by going inside anyway, and he hit him. So maybe the next time he goes, well, I can't get that close. I don't want to hit him again. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Dylan in South Philly, who says Harper's standing too close to the plate. Dylan, what's up?
What's up, Mike? Bill,
How you doing?
Are you out of your? Did you fall out of a tree or something?
What you got, Dylan?
Like, how could you say? First of all, he hit him on purpose because his first response was, "Well, he wasn't. I thought he was wearing an elbow guard." That right there shows intent. Am I right or wrong?
I don't think he was trying to hit him on purpose. I think he was trying to go inside.
We listened to that whole quote yesterday. I still don't think he did it on purpose. I really don't.
And Harper can stand wherever he wants in the box.
Right, it's his box.
Right.
It's his box. It's not the pitcher's box.
And somebody should have been punked. Somebody should have a raspberry on.
Well, that's all. Listen, the timing was right for that to happen the same night, the next inning. Didn't happen, so I don't know if it's going to happen from this point on.
If somebody attacks Michkov, Bill, what happens?
Oh yeah.
They drop the gloves.
But
they go after him. They high stick him. They
But
draw blood for
Michkov
4
Here's the
minute
difference,
penalty.
though. But here's the difference, Dylan. I said
doesn't drop the gloves, right? Somebody else comes in. And
exactly,
drops the gloves
but the
for him, right?
person who hit him is going to have to answer for it. The person who hit Michkov has to answer for it. Spencer Strider doesn't have to answer for it. That's what bothers me about this whole thing, this fake tough guy thing.
Do it by
Strider
proxy.
doesn't have to
In
answer.
baseball, it's by proxy.
Somebody should pull his mustache off his face.
Well, then that's a different scenario. What you're saying is then someone should charge the mound and go after Strider. Maybe that's a little bit better. Make Strider answer for it.
It's really simple. See, now you're advocating violence where you're actually going to try to beat somebody up, like when Harper came after who was the guy that plunked Hunter? Whatever.
Yeah, we were just
Hunter
watching that. Yeah, we were just watching that video.
Yeah, what's
Is it Hunter Strickland?
Hunter Strickland. When
when he was in
after him,
Washington.
and he got 2 punches to the face, got 1 shot in, tried to throw his helmet at the guy, and it went awry.
Listen, I know I'm in the minority with this opinion. I mean, I'm reading the YouTube chat. I'm getting crushed. I know most of the callers are going to crush me. I just think for us to...
It's a real simple fix. You're making it too complicated. Baseball is a real simple fix. You do A, we do B, C is even. That's it. That's what's beautiful about baseball, policing itself. Oh, all right, you want to get brash like that? You hit a guy, knock him out of the game. Guess what? You got something coming to you, and now we're even.
And I just don't think it changes anything.
Changes everything.
I don't
'Cause
think
now you got respect that filters.
There is no one that's going to not throw inside on Harper now. They're still going to come inside.
They're going to try, but they're going to be careful. I guarantee you, they don't want to face the same noise. If one of their players gets plugged, and they know that, they don't want to face the same noise and the same wrath from their teammates. Their teammates don't like getting hit. If a pitcher forces one of their guys to get hit, they don't like that. Let's go to Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Greg?
Gentlemen, good morning. How are you?
How are you doing, buddy?
Good, good. I think they should have hit him right away and got it over with. But I wanted to talk about Patullo, and it was an interesting presser. He seemed to play both sides of the fence. On the one hand, he seemed to be portraying himself as a Sirianni clone. On the other hand, he said, well, we have different brains. I don't know if he recognized that being a Sirianni clone might not be the best thing right now.
Yeah, I think he was smart enough to figure that out. To say, hey, listen, that guy won a Super Bowl. So I'm not going to come in here with all kinds of wholesale changes, but we have different brains, and maybe I can add a little something else. I think he answered it perfectly.
Yeah. Well, I think I agree. I mean, he sort of took both sides of the fence.
That's the way you got to be in an introductory presser.
Right. To me, I don't know. He came off as feeling happy to have that job, as opposed to, I put my time in, I earned this job. And maybe that's just me. I don't know.
It's interesting perspective. Did you get that perspective, Bill?
Well, I mean, it's his first time speaking to the media as the OC. He is happy to have the job. I mean, I didn't get because he's so happy to have the job, he must not be qualified. I mean, the guy's been in the NFL for 15 years. He's got 15 years of NFL coaching experience. He's been around the block. So, I don't know. I'm willing to give him a chance, Greg. I want to see how things go. And I said this before. It's a Jalen Hurts offense. This is a Jalen Hurts offense. It's going to have a lot of Nick Sirianni influence anyway. You have a ton of weapons. What I love that Patullo said is he's going to build the system around his players and what they do best. There's nothing worse than when a guy comes in and says, well, this is how I do things and this is how we're going to do it. No, you build an offense to take advantage of your players' skill sets, and that's why this is a Jalen Hurts offense, because he has a unique skill set.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think that I got the feeling like he's going to rely more on his collaboration with Sirianni than what would be healthy for the offense. But maybe that's just me.
I think it's you, Greg, because their methodology right now is not that complicated. You know, it's just not that complicated. They know what butters their bread. So he would be a fool to go away from that. Now, can he add a wrinkle or two? Yeah, but status quo's okay by me, isn't it?
It was pretty good last year.
It was. So he doesn't have to be some genius. 610-632-0975. How you get in. By the way, we'll have Shady McCoy's opinion on what this offense is. It's like he doesn't even care if there's an offense coordinator. He says the offense coordinator is Jalen Hurts anyway. We'll listen to Shady after this.
Philadelphia Union.
7-5 the Fanatic. All right, so Sean McCoy is on, I never remember what this show is called.
The Facility.
The Facility. He's on there with Acho, and who else is on there?
James Jones, I believe.
James Jones.
Chase Daniel.
Yeah, Chase Daniel.
All right, so the Sean McCoy, I don't know if this is snitching. Conversation with A.J. Brown. A.J., shady, kindred. And Shady reveals something that A.J. Brown told him about about Jalen Hurts and how it's really kind of irrelevant that they have an offensive coordinator. And here's what he had to say.
AJ told me, well, players tell me that the offense is really the offense. No doubt. They don't care who the coordinator is. You come over here to fit the Jalen Hurts offense.
Okay, so he slipped when AJ told me. Anyway, the players told me.
Yeah.
That it's the Jalen Hurts offense. Well, it is the Jalen Hurts offense. It doesn't mean you don't need an offensive coordinator. They're doing everything they can to support the dynamics that Jalen Hurts presents.
You see, the problem with LaShawn snitching that it's AJ is that it's going to be overanalyzed, and it was all over social media because AJ is the one who at times doesn't seem happy when the passing offense isn't as highlighted as the rushing attack. So people are going to blow this up saying, oh, is that AJ complaining to LaShawn McCoy?
Is that AJ saying, oh, man, he do what he want?
Yeah.
I
think that's how
it
people
comes
are
out. And it comes out like, oh, here we go with AJ and then Jalen again.
Exactly. That's how it gets blown up all over social media. Now, to the point, it's not, as I like to say, he's not wrong. I've been saying this for a while. It is Jalen Hurts' offense. You do build your offense around your starting quarterback who has a unique skill set. So it does make sense when players would have said to LaShawn, hey, it doesn't matter because it's Jalen's offense.
Yes,
but coming from AJ, people are going to spin it, oh, that means he's upset. And maybe he was. Because why then does LaShawn pause and says, players. Yeah, you can't reveal that. You don't reveal who's telling you things, Shady. But I don't think this should be news. I really don't. It is Jalen's offense. I don't think we should blow it up, but it's already
I don't think it's anything new to Philadelphia fans. But it's interesting that Shady would put that out to a national audience. And it kind of depletes Kevin Petullo. Don't you think?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, that doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is. Kevin Petullo could be nothing special. It's Jalen's offense.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, but if you look over the years when you had Steichen first and then it switches to Brian Johnson and then Kellen Moore comes in here, it really has looked the same across the board. It really has. You're going to call an offense that takes advantage of what Jalen Hurts does well. When you have an ability to run the football, you could run different types of plays. You could run those RPOs. Your rushing attack's going to be a little bit different. So it makes sense. Even with Kellen Moore, there was not a lot of. Did you go in last season? You didn't see what you thought you were going to see. There wasn't a lot of crazy differences in that offense.
No, totally not. All right, Reggie, our erstwhile truck driver, is currently in Iowa, and he's checking in today. What's up, Reg?
Erstwhile. I like that word.
The erstwhile truck driver.
Music?
Yes.
Where's my music?
Where's my music? Uh-oh. Ray was sleeping on the switch.
That's all right. That's all right. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Reggie.
Ray. Good morning, Bill. The baseball thing. A plus B equals C. And Bill, once again, is not necessarily right. One pitch, he wouldn't have been thrown out for hitting the Braves player in the second inning, as you clearly stated, Mike.
First of all, he's not a headhunter. If Ranger was going to do it, he would have hit him somewhere in the midsection, the leg, whatever.
Yeah.
At that point, then the umpire would have issued a warning. At that point, but not an automatic ejection.
No.
So you're saying that Bill is a little soft on this whole topic.
Yeah, he is.
Little soft. So tell him why he's soft, Reggie. What's your interpretation? What good would that have done to retaliate?
You gotta stick up for your teammates. The pitcher's got to stick up for their teammates, and real simple. One pitch, boom. He wouldn't have been ejected because he threw one pitch to hit him.
You especially have to stick up for your best teammate. That goes into the narrative as well. It's not Johan Rojas that he hit.
Right. Now, I was listening yesterday, and I wanted that Silence of the Lambs question because I had a little trivia to add to that one. When the Hannibal Lecter was the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. In the movie called Manhunter, Michael Mann did that movie. Michael Mann did Miami Vice, the shows, and that movie came out in '86. Manhunter. William Peterson was the police officer. He went to visit Dr. Hannibal Lecter in prison, and it wasn't Anthony Hopkins in that movie, but the character.
Yeah.
Dr. Hannibal Lecter is in the Manhunter movie.
Yes.
The Yams. I think it was '86.
Yes, I did not see Manhunter, but I know what you're talking about.
You didn't? That's a man does. He did Miami Vice at the.
I know Michael Mann. He's got a lot of action.
Yeah.
You know who played
in his roles?
You know who played Hannibal Lecter in that?
Who played Hannibal Lecter?
Logan Roy from Succession.
Oh, he did really?
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox played Hannibal Lecter
In that movie. I didn't see the
Did you
movie
see
either.
Mindhunter? No?
I just looked it up, and I see that it's Logan Roy.
Yeah, we were talking about various TV shows and such. Somehow The Wire popped back up.
Great show.
I'm going to give you my list of my 10 favorite characters in The Wire a little later.
Wait, were you a Succession guy, too?
Yeah.
I thought that was a great show.
The top 5 for me.
Now, I use great. I overuse
You do.
it.
You use great.
But
and
Succession was a
amazing
great
and,
show.
Was Succession be in your top 5 of TV shows?
Oh, it may be. Let me make the list. during the break.
Make your list. I'll make my list. Brad will make his list.
I actually I haven't seen the last season, but I've seen most of Succession.
Oh, you have?
Big fan of the show.
Wow.
Is that on your list? Number 1?
He's only watched 5.
He's only had one. He's only watched one. Was it
Outside of sitcoms, it might have to.
That's it.
I don't know.
You haven't watched The Sopranos. You haven't watched The Wire. You haven't watched Breaking Bad.
Correct.
You've watched Game of Thrones.
No.
No?
I don't do Dungeons
No
and
Game
Dragons.
of Thrones. He's only watched one thing. It's Succession. So
It's
that's
great.
his top on his list.
And didn't finish it.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
No, I just said I hadn't seen the last season.
So I guess he wasn't into it that much.
No,
right.
I have reason.
Okay.
Why I didn't watch it.
610-632-0975 is how you come into the show and the text board. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Back into this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader down to TBP. I'm Ray Dunn. This Fanatic Sports Update is brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. Phillies and Braves play a day-night doubleheader starting today with the 105 first pitch at Citizens Bank Park. Christopher Sanchez opposed by A.J. Smith-Shawver in Game 1. There'll be a battle of the top 2 finishers in NL Cy Young voting last year in Game 2. Zach Wheeler and Chris Sale on the mound at 6:45. Elsewhere in South Philly, Eagles wrapped up their first 2 days of OTAs yesterday. We heard from a number of Eagles, including offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo for the first time. Patullo was asked about his relationship with Nick Sirianni and how he sees their dynamic working together in this new role.
I think there's a lot of fundamental things that we see the same way, but I do think our brains work differently. So it's a good back and forth conversational piece that we have constantly. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that he believes in that I believe in as well. And we're going to do those things. But I do think we challenge each other to grow.
Outside Patullo speaking, 2 big storylines from yesterday's practice was Bryce Huff's absence and Cooper DeJean playing outside corner during a portion of the practice. The Union won 2-1 last night on the back of a stoppage time goal from Kai Wagner. The win keeps the Union at the top of the Eastern Conference. This update's also brought to you by Mattress Firm. Get matched and sleep at night during Mattress Firm's Upgrade Your Sleep sale. Take 120 nights to love your new bed or your money back. Restrictions apply. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA action, NBA playoff action. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I missed it. I missed it.
Come on,
A little
man.
out of it today, Ray.
You are a little out of it.
Rough night last night with the kiddos.
You had to get up early, huh? You're up early in the middle of the night?
3 o'clock in the morning, my
That's
6-year-old was crying.
That's not good.
Took care of everything.
Not good. What do you do? Smooth it over? Huh?
Yeah, last night was tough.
What's your demeanor when something like this happens?
Sometimes
He'd make.
I'd like to admit that I'm always calm. Sometimes I'm like, get in bed. But last night I was
Really?
last night I was like, come here, buddy. It's okay.
Oh, you come here, buddy.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah, it's all right, buddy boy.
Oh.
That's what I call him. He's my buddy boy.
And other
nice,
times
yeah.
it's get in bed?
Oh, sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes I wish I was calm all the time.
Which was more effective?
Being calm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You learned something about yourself.
Yeah, you got to be calm.
All right. Did you think about your top shows?
I did.
Okay. What do you
Now,
got?
I don't have them in any particular order, though. But I got my top 5 in one honorable mention.
Oh, God.
All right. Sopranos, The Wire, Breaking Bad, Succession does make my top 5. Peaky Blinders. You didn't like that show.
Very cultish.
Loved
That
Peaky
show.
Blinders.
Yeah.
I've watched that actually twice. My honorable mention, and it's only because I hate the way it ended, Game of Thrones.
I have a really hard time. I got Succession in my top 5, so just for the sake of argument, I'll make it top 4. So without question, it's The Wire. Like Wire's number 1, and if you have number 2, number 2, you have to go like if you're writing it down.
Really?
Oh yeah. If you're one's here and number 2 would go like 3 feet below.
See, I thought you would have gone 1 and then 1A with the Sopranos.
No. It's 1 way up here. It's 2 down on the list, and that's Sopranos.
Wow. I love The Wire, but that much better than the Sopranos.
It's like, dude. I mean, it's in the ozone. It's in the clouds. It'll never be taken down. The Wire. It's the most fantastic show it's ever written, ever made, ever filmed. Just brutal reality.
Now, was that a Freudian slip? Did you just say Ozark?
No, I did not say Ozark.
I thought you said In the Ozarks. Now, that show I thought was good, but not in the top 5.
In the ozone. I said.
Ah, the Ozarks.
So it's Wire, Sopranos, Narcos.
Oh, that was good. But then, I don't know, the first season was great.
Mexico City was still pretty good.
Secondly, was okay.
With, what's his name, the kid?
But the first season was Pablo Escobar, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was phenomenal season.
Yeah. Second one wasn't bad, though.
Not top 5, though.
Top 3 for me, Narcos. Succession 4. And then Breaking Bad, a lot of people loved it. I liked it. It was a network show. It was interrupted by commercials, so I went Game of Thrones and then Breaking Bad.
Game of Thrones, I did not watch when it was on the network. I watched it after the fact. I actually this is how far it's going back, Ray. I bought the DVDs and watched Breaking Bad. You remember those?
Barely.
So I watched the DVDs.
Yeah,
on
the
all
whole
seasons.
series.
I did. Yeah. I think I had The Sopranos, too. You know what else I had? Every single season of King of Queens on DVD.
Oh, God.
Least surprising thing I've ever
Every single one.
That's just... Yeah.
All those DVDs we used to collect. I have VHSs, too. I
I know. I had the Dexter full series.
Dexter's another good one.
Yeah, I had I had all those TV series as well. But it's interesting that you put Soprano over The Wire. So people go to me, well, you're Italian. The Wire is so much... There's so much more depth to it than The Sopranos. It's not even close.
Let me say this. I agree with you. There's more depth to The Wire. But if I'm watching TV and The Wire's on, I don't necessarily stop and watch it.
It's entertaining, The Sopranos.
Yes.
It's very entertaining.
I can watch
you can watch it again
at
and
any
again.
point, any season.
And I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But as far as the quality, nothing beats The Wire, in my opinion.
It was a very good show. And I think I told you this before. My dad, who was being a police officer, said it's the most accurate police show he's ever seen.
It's incredibly accurate, and it's because it's written by people who were there.
Correct.
It's written by a police reporter and a guy who covered the beat and listened to all the dialogue and did all that.
Now, let me ask you, someone in the YouTube chat threw out Boardwalk Empire. Where do you put that?
Yeah, it's all right.
That started out strong.
Yeah, it's all right.
First season was pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't rise to the top of the best shows.
A judge in Atlantic City wrote that.
Yeah?
He wrote that whole story. I actually was in front of him for a couple cases.
Nucky Johnson?
Yeah. But the judge, what was the judge's name? I think the judge may be...
Judge Roy Bean? No.
Maybe Judge Johnson.
It was. Was it Judge Johnson?
Hold on.
Anyway, it's 11 o'clock. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5, The Fanatic, WPEN, WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, and we broadcast from the Comcast Business Studios, and that is powering possibilities.
And yes, Nelson Johnson, Atlantic City judge.
Oh, there you go.
He wrote that Boardwalk Empire.
Okay. Well, anyway, for the record, for anybody who has seen The Wire, here are my top 10 characters.
You're going 10.
Omar, 1.
Easily.
Bunk, 2.
Underrated character.
Stringer, 3.
Stringer Bell.
Bodie, 4. Marlowe, 5. Vicious.
Now, Marlowe doesn't get introduced till season 2 or 3, right?
3.
3.
Might be 2. I don't know. McNulty. Kima. Cedric Daniels.
McNulty.
Slim Charles.
Oh,
Slim getting in there. And Snoop.
Yeah, there are a lot of good characters. Now Bodie was a phenomenal actor.
He really was.
He was a really good actor.
He was really good.
And I haven't seen him in anything else.
No, I haven't either. You got Poot.
Yeah, he was good too. I like when he's on the phone with the girl.
How about D'Angelo Barksdale?
D'Angelo Barksdale's a
pretty solid character.
Yeah. What about Avon?
Avon, I didn't like Avon.
It was weird that he was the head of the whole thing.
I didn't like him.
I don't know.
Avon didn't resonate with me.
Yeah,
so I didn't put him on my top 10.
He did a good job.
Marlowe resonated with me because there was nothing, no pretense about him.
You don't put Bubs.
He was a killer.
You don't put Bubs in your top 10.
Bubbles. Everybody loves Bubbles. I didn't really care for that much with Bubbles.
He was a good character, though.
Very good character, and a great actor, that guy. Andre Royo is his name.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got
What about
sidetracked on the wire.
You didn't like Priz?
He was a knucklehead.
Wait, who was his father-in-law?
Valchek.
Yes, Valchek.
Stan Valchek.
He was all mad about the stained glass at the church.
Yeah, because he had a smaller one than Frank Sabatka. All right, we're going crazy now with the wire. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. Let's start the 11 o'clock hour with little Silver from Germantown. What's up, Silver?
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
What's happening, Silver?
Took me back with the wire, man. Yeah, that's definitely the best show ever. I want to stay on topic, though. We've just seen, the OKC Thunder. They're about to go to the championship, and probably the Indiana Pacers is probably going to go to the championship also.
Yeah.
Now, seeing this with the draft coming up, with this third pick that the Philadelphia 76ers have, are we trading that pick on draft night for a,
Well, give me a name who you would trade him for, and I will tell you yes or no.
I'm looking at KD.
No.
No?
No. I can't, Silver, I can't take any more late 30s players. Please, don't saddle me with another one. We went from Harden to Paul George. Are you going to K.D.? Nah. You don't win with older players anymore.
He's still all world.
37.
And for what he's going to do for us, he's going to get us to that Eastern Conference Finals.
No, he's not. This team not going to Eastern Conference Finals. Come on. You think this team is going to the Eastern Conference Finals? First of all, you have to trade that pick. You have to trade that pick with Paul George, right?
No.
Yeah, you have to. Salary.
No, you don't. No, you
don't. What are you doing then? You got to match salaries.
You're going to have to you have to match salary, right? So you give up Jared Kane, you give up Yabusele.
You give me guys that make 3 cents. They don't make any money.
Well, listen. We'll add the money to it then. You don't give up Paul George.
You can't add the money to it. Their salary is what their salary is.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So who you?
I'm making one trade. If the Milwaukee Bucks want to give me Giannis for Paul George and a number 1 pick and another number 1 pick, I'm doing it.
You want Giannis and Embiid?
I'm taking Giannis every day of the week, bro.
And Embiid, that's who you want. It's Maxey, Embiid, and Giannis.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm putting Giannis on my team. I'm immediately better. You play the 4, Giannis.
Better.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I would like that over KD. Yeah, you're right.
All right. That's the only deal I'm making. If not, I'll take Ace Bailey. What the hell?
What about Zion Williamson?
Nah.
No.
Nope. It all depends on
Then you
somebody
take away-
wants to take Paul George. If somebody wants to take Paul George, then I can make a deal with him. But that's the guy you're going to have to trade to get a star caliber player. Or you can go, we're done, and we just have to wait out this year.
Make it seem like we're not going to make it seem like Paul George is just chopped liver. You know, he's still a 20 point per game player.
He is? Where?
So-
Where's that? Whose planet is that? He doesn't
He's
even
not
want it.
with
Silver,
us.
he doesn't even want to be here. Come on. You saw the way he played last year with no effort.
No effort. That's because Embiid doesn't show any
Oh, it's
effort.
Embiid now. He likes Paul George. He hates Embiid. I'm done with both of them, frankly. I told you that I'm done with the way this team is trying to patch on and continue this misguided run to compete in the East. And I know the East is weak. Oh, the East is weak. Nah. You're not winning anything with this configuration. So what's the difference? Bust it up. Start to build it like OKC. Start to build it like Indiana with all kinds of role players that fill exact roles. Players that are role players who can also score for you.
Remember you asked earlier, what did Kevin Gandhi mean when he said, you got to understand the Philly fans?
Yeah? Oh, is that Paul George?
Paul George doesn't understand.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Well, when I say you got to give it all, you got to give all of your effort. Like, I think that is a majority of the battle. If you leave it all out on the field or the court or the rink, we're going to respect you, even if you make mistakes. Like, Brian Dawkins wasn't always the best player on the field. Hall of Fame career, obviously. But because he gave 110%, he was beloved. Same thing with Utley. You think Paul George gave 110%
Now,
this year?
this is how preposterous that is. Because people perceive Jimmy Rollins didn't do what you just said. And yet he's a Hall of Famer. And they don't appreciate him. So this town is whacked. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
We want to hear from you. So text us at 610-632.
Make a Wish. Mike Missanelli Show. For the people that have never seen The Wire, or the character Snoop, who in real life was a gangster, not an actress.
Oh, she was a gangster in real life. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they took her right from the streets. In any event, Google Snoop buys a nail gun
Great scene.
as a scene in The Wire.
Phenomenal scene.
All right. Okay. So we have this guy who sends us videos, sends Bill in particular videos. His name is DJ Gabe. And he acts the part of a kind of a crazy sports talk caller. And normally he's calling some fictional sports talk host named John, not to be confused with our own John. But in this particular episode, he is ranting about the lack of retribution. But he is calling a late night talk show where the host is named Jake. You know, some guy who's doing like a 10 o'clock shift named Jake. Right? So
correct.
So here it is. Here's DJ Gabe and his phone call about retribution.
It's 2025. You can't retaliate. You hear yourself, Jake? No wonder they got you on the JV squad at 10 o'clock at night. You and them snowflakes in there wouldn't know real baseball if it was sitting next to you in your pickleball class. Okay? They should have cleared the benches and took Strider out to the woodshed after he plunked Harper. And don't give me the pitch got away from him. It wasn't on purpose. Yeah, you probably think the Delco Pooper wasn't on purpose too, don't you, Jake? I got a Crum Creek Bridge I'll sell you if you believe that.
A Crum Creek Bridge.
You probably trust the process too, don't you, bud? Listen, Jake, I was born at night, but not last night, okay? And I'll tell you what, this team won't even stand up for their guy. My brother Richie, last Wednesday, outside of Monarch Billiards. That's how you stand up to somebody. This team is softer than Boost Corners donuts. Lenny Dykstra would have smacked the mustache off that clown in '93, and you know it, Jake.
See, these are all Delco references. I know Monarch Billiards, but I don't know the donut place he's talking about.
Yeah, he always drops a ton of Delco references.
He's a Delco caller.
Yes.
Basically.
But that is, I mean, he's obviously exaggerating it, but I feel like
That's
he's
the general consensus.
Yes, that is the general consensus with Philadelphia.
And again,
fans.
I'm not a wild man. Like, that's a wild man consensus. Take it to the woodshed. I am, pick your spots, add the dimensions to the circumstance. In other words, a choice is influenced one way or the other by circumstance. And the circumstance there was, boom, your guy's out of the game. Visceral. That means Albie's the leadoff hitter in the next inning. You clip him in the leg.
Listen, I know I'm frustrating a lot of Philly fans out there. I see you in the YouTube chat. I just don't understand what gets accomplished by throwing a baseball at another player. One, it is a little bit barbaric. And I know that I'm in support of fighting in hockey, so it's a little bit hypocritical to say it's barbaric.
You think?
But it is. But at least in hockey, it's helping police the game. It is preventing people from taking runs at players. It's preventing people from using their stick as a weapon.
How do you not see the same rationale for this?
Let me get there. It's preventing people from using their stick as a weapon, from taking cheap shots at guys. You throwing inside to Bryce Harper and the pitch getting away from you, and then we turn around and the Phillies throw at a guy on the Braves, they're still going to pitch inside to Harper. Like, I don't understand. One, it doesn't make Strider answer for his inadvertent throw. It doesn't stop people from throwing inside. I just don't see how it would accomplish it.
Maybe it sends a message that if you do that, you want to go inside and you get too far inside and you clip a guy, one of your guys is now in peril. That's the lesson. And you seem to be missing the lesson.
And my response, if I'm a pitcher, so what? So what? All right, so I go inside.
Answer to 24 guys in your clubhouse.
And what? You think the guys in the clubhouse are going to say, "Don't pitch inside to Bryce next time"?
The guys in the clubhouse are going to go, "You put me in peril, brother. Be careful. You put me in peril. Every time now I got to come up, I got to worry about him. I'm going to get clipped." That's the message.
But you do agree with me. They're still going to pitch him inside. They're still going to pitch him inside.
Yes, but they're going to be a lot more careful pitching inside.
And the reason why I say I think it's a fake tough guy move is because, one, you're throwing a ball at somebody. It doesn't make you tough to be able to throw a ball at somebody.
Stop with your football hockey mentality. That's what baseball players have. They have a ball. Let's go to T-Bone in Northeast Philly. T-Bone, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Love that T-Bone.
What's up, T-Bone?
Real quick, before I get to my point, a couple weeks ago, you guys were talking about something that blew my mind. About how many baseballs you go through in a normal game.
Yeah.
You think every time they scuff that ball, the pitch is in the dirt, they toss that ball out of play? They don't just clean it up and recycle it?
No, they toss it out of play, and it's used as BP fodder.
Every ball that hits the ground.
Yep. Yeah, they don't put that ball. Here's the reason. Because dirt gets into seams. And in this day and age, when pitchers can manipulate the ball so much, that can make a difference. That's why they throw all those balls out.
That blew my mind. I still don't believe it.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. I was always taught by my father, who coached baseball. Somebody throws a baseball at you at projectile. Now, this was nowhere near 100 miles an hour as the pros do. My dad said, you throw that effing bat right back at him.
Well, you don't do that.
Why? Why can you throw a 100-mile projectile? Why can you throw a 100-mile projectile at my head and I have to stand there and take it?
Nobody's throwing at your head. If you get hit with a pitch, you get hit with a pitch. If somebody headhunts you, he's getting thrown out of the game.
All right, so if he throws your wrist,
you can't throw a bat back. What is this, a lawless society? You hit a guy. You got hit a guy with a bat. You want to have manslaughter on the field?
What's odds are you're not going to hit somebody with a bat. You win that.
It doesn't matter. You can't throw a weapon.
Well, a ball's a weapon.
You're an attorney, Bill. You're an attorney. You can throw a ball at 100 miles an hour at my rib cage.
You're throwing a ball that hits a player. It might not necessarily be on purpose. Throwing a bat is on purpose.
Put your attorney hat on and not your Mike Missanelli.
Attorney hat. Right? It's a crime. Frankly, it's assault and battery. Throw a bat at somebody, you hit them.
Bill, what's your attorney say?
Well, to T-Bone's point, you could also make the argument throwing a ball at somebody is assault.
No, it's not, because throwing a ball is a normal course of action. You're pitching to a guy. Sometimes it gets out of control and you hit a guy.
But you're saying to do it on purpose, to do it intentionally.
You don't know that it's intentional.
Mike, if
you throw a bat, it's intentional. You throw bats intentional, is it not?
You threw that bat in the heat. You threw that bat in the heat of the moment. That's
Bill,
you're premeditated.
You're messing with me now, right, Bill? Yeah, Bill. See, Bill's just effing with me.
You're not going to throw a ball at me, and I'm going to stand there and smile.
T-Bone, stop it. You know how many pitches I've been hit with in my life? Probably about 100 balls have hit me. I didn't throw a bat back at the guy. You can't throw a bat back at the guy. Oh, I'm a schmuck.
Listen,
it's part of the game. To get hit with a pitch is part of the game. But in a situation like that, there also should be retribution. If I get hit, by the way, I got hit and broke ribs in a game.
Right before we started the show.
Right before
I remember
we started the show. I had 4 broken ribs. A guy hit me in the ribs in our basement.
Did anybody on your team retaliate?
It did. A guy got hit in the ass.
Did he charge?
No. He took his medicine.
Now, I just want to read this comment before I know we're up against it. So Matt Deckard on YouTube, in response to me, says, what's funny is every person who's ever played in the major leagues says there should be retaliation, but yet the guy who never played says don't retaliate. Now, my response, though, is every player who played, past tense, but yet the current team didn't do a damn thing. So to make the argument, all these old-timers said you should have thrown at him. The current team didn't do anything. So don't come at me and say I've never played the game.
The current team didn't do anything because Ranger Suarez decided not to do anything. So that's his choice. Now, if his teammates look down on him for that, then that's his burden. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader down at CBP. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies and Braves will play a day-night doubleheader starting at 1:05. First pitch down at Citizens Bank Park. Christopher Sanchez will be opposed by A.J. Smith-Shawver in Game 1. It'll be a battle of the top 2 finishers in NL Cy Young voting last year in Game 2 with Zach Wheeler and Chris Sale matching up at 6:45. Elsewhere in South Philly, the Eagles wrapped up their first 2 days of OTAs yesterday. We heard from a number of Eagles, including offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo for the first time. Patullo was asked about his relationship with Nick Sirianni and how he sees their dynamic working together in his new role.
I think there's a lot of fundamental things that we see the same way, but I do think our brains work differently. So it's a good back and forth conversational piece that we have constantly. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that he believes in that I believe in as well. And we're going to do those things. But I do think we challenge each other to grow.
Outside Patullo speaking, the big storylines from yesterday. Brace Huff was absent. Cooper Jean playing outside corner during a portion of practice. Something to monitor there with the way they lined up the defense. Union 1-2-1 last night at the back of a stoppage time goal from Kai Wagner. The win keeps Union at the top of the Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by Discover. Do you know what's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide? If you guessed Discover, you guessed right based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA playoff action. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And let's talk some Eagle football, shall we? Let's give you a little update on what's going on at OTAs, at least the stuff that happened yesterday. I give you Exhibit A. Bryce Huff. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Bryce Huff has not been involved in any kind of activities at the NovaCare Center and was not at the OTAs yesterday. And the deal is that, or the speculation is that they're keeping him off the field for fear that he may get injured. And they have to hold on until after June 1 if they can unload him, because that's when it would make more fiscal sense, less of a salary cap hit. So is that what the Eagles are doing with Bryce Huff, Bill?
It's possible. I mean, it's possible. I can't imagine that he would want to voluntarily stay away from involuntary workouts. Like the season you had last year, you weren't even dressed in the Super Bowl. You're not even active for the Super Bowl. I would think he'd be doing everything possible to try to get better and to win over the coaching staff. Show Vic Fangio this year is going to be different. So we don't know for sure that he was told to stay away, but that's what I would assume, because why would he not want to be there? It just doesn't make sense. Like, what would he be unhappy about? They paid you, and they didn't think that you were good enough to play, so you didn't play. Now you got to earn it. But I said it yesterday, even though Bryce Huff didn't impress me this year, if they do, in fact, trade him after June 1st, which is what I think will probably happen, you save $4.4 million on the salary cap, you still got to find where you're going to replace the reps, where you're going to replace all these snaps, because you lost Josh Sweat. He played over 600 snaps last year. You lost Brandon Graham. He played over 300 snaps last year. And Bryce Huff played close to 300 snaps last year. Now, you expect a little bit more from Jalix Hunt in year 2, but you're putting a lot on his shoulders if he's going to be a starting edge. And then you brought in Josh Uche and Azeez Ojulari. You got to hope that not only those guys that they can perform, but that those guys can stay healthy, because that's been a little bit of an issue.
So you might have to keep them to cover your butt here.
Well, I thought you needed them maybe for some depth. But we know, look, Vic Fangio, he don't pull any punches. We've known that the way he speaks to the media. His first press conference when he was asked about Bryce Huff, it didn't sound like he gave him a glowing.
No, it's clear that he's not.
I don't think he likes
his type of dude.
So if you're not going to use them, then I guess move on, save some money. But you better make sure you have a backup plan.
All right, what else went on yesterday was some notable absences. Devontae Smith, Lane Johnson not there. Reed Blankenship and returner Avery Williams. The speculation is that Smith and Johnson took a veteran day. Why would they take away? I would save all my veteran days for when they put the pads on.
Yeah, it was interesting because Jalen Carter didn't practice yesterday either. I think he was there, but he didn't practice. So, look, like I said, it's a voluntary workout.
Yeah.
I think one of the things when I talk about the edge room maybe being a little bit light if you move on from Bryce Huff, with Reed Blankenship not practicing, I think it kind of showed the safety position's a little bit light. Because you got rookie Andrew Makuba and third-year player Sidney Brown as your starting safeties when Reed's not there. And then behind him, Lewis Sine and Andre Sam. That don't make you feel that good.
No, it doesn't. But the more interesting part is the cornerback position, where Quinian's got one nailed down. Adoree Jackson it took the majority of starter snaps outside cornerback. And, and Cooper DeJean is saying, I'll play anywhere. And, the notion is that he's going to probably be the guy who starts there at right cornerback on the outside rather than as a nickel. So I don't know how you're feeling about that. How's that going to shake out?
It's interesting. I was looking at the numbers from last year. Over 80% of the time, the Eagles are in nickel in defense. So we're talking about very limited reps where you're not going to have Cooper DeJean probably at that nickel corner position. Because I would think what they would do, he's going to be your nickel corner when you're in that defense. But when there's only two on the field, if you came out in a true base defense and you only got two cornerbacks on the field, I guess it's Cooper and Quinion. But that's a lot on a guy. I mean, I know Cooper DeJean, great rookie season. That's a lot of moving around on a guy. It's a lot. It's not easy to keep jumping inside and jumping outside, but we've seen it. You trust Cooper DeJean in doing it, and I know you want it because you want Jason Sehorn 2.0.
Well, I think it'd be very, very interesting that Cooper DeJean plays outside corner. We haven't seen that in this league. So that'll be really interesting. But this paragraph that was written, I think it was by Jeff McClain. Brown and Makuba projected to be the main two combatants in Phil Gardner-Johnson's vacancy. Neither did much on the ball, but they kept the deep middle protected with quarterback Jalen Hurts often forced to check down. I'll have more on Hurts' reluctance to throw it deep later on.
It's the first open practice of OTAs.
Yeah. Hey, listen, this is what he wrote.
You got to start spouting.
I'm not spouting anything. He spouted it.
You got to start giving me completion percentages.
I'm just reading here.
I know. We already.
Reluctant to throw the ball down the field the first day of OTAs? I'm chucking it. I don't care how many interceptions I give up.
We already got that other guy giving completion stats. It's ridiculous.
Listen, I'm not covering the team. This guy's covering the team. That's his revelation. Meanwhile, Jeremiah Trotter looks good alongside Zach Bond as we wait for Nakobe Dean and Jihad Campbell and such.
Yeah, Trot Jr. may be
Trot might be your starter.
He may be your starter to start the season because you don't know. Even Jihad Campbell, is he going to be healthy? The rookie.
Yep.
So maybe Trot gets a little opportunity.
All right.
That still was. I still gave me goosebumps watching Trot Jr. do the axe at Super Bowl 59.
Okay, give you goosebumps, did he?
It was awesome, man.
Really? All right, Jason Kelsey was at practice. Oh, really? This guy can't stay away, can he? He just can't stay away. He was assisting Jeff Stoutland.
Well, maybe they asked him to be there.
Are they?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure he still got. When you say you can't stay away, you're a former athlete. I'm a former athlete. I mean, like, when my college career ended, I went back to my high school and started coaching football. Like, I can understand why Kelsey still wants to be around the game. You go your entire life, and I couldn't even imagine at the professional level where your entire life, every day is dedicated, and then all of a sudden you retire and you're supposed to step away. So, look, I don't mind him being there. Doesn't bother me.
All right.
He's kind of the Kelsey fatigue has kind of faded for me. I haven't been seeing him as much.
You were fatigued at one point.
Well, they were everywhere. I mean, with the shows and then, Travis Kelsey everywhere. But for some reason, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe my algorithm's different now on social media. I haven't gotten that much Kelsey fatigue lately.
All right. Let's get back to the text board and hear what the people are saying on the text board, whether it be the retaliation topic or your Philadelphia Eagles. So now we're going to be talking about the Eagles every day on what's happening at OTAs. We're obsessed.
Bill, if someone had been clocked for hitting Harper prior to this, maybe he wouldn't have been hit 3 of his last 4 games, and Strider would have thought twice. Problem is, this team's character reflects that of their laid-back manager.
All right, let's dissect that real quick. Strider would have thought twice. Most of us agree that Strider, the ball got away from him. So if someone had been clocked in one of the games before the Braves series, do we really think that Strider would not have thrown inside on Bryce Harper? I don't believe that at all. There's no way Strider's going to change his approach to Bryce Harper because someone got clocked 2-3 games ago. I'm not buying that. And even if they retaliate against a Braves player today, I still don't think that changes how Bryce Harper gets pitched in the next series.
All right, well, let me read as we go into our next break. Let me read this email that I got from a frequent emailer. His name's Harold. He's been emailing me for a while. He's got a lot of views on Philadelphia sports. He calls me OG. He says, "Yo, OG."
Is that original Gary?
I think it's gangsta. The Phillies are a talented team. They have everything they need to win, except grit. And he writes that in capital letters. If Wheeler doesn't retaliate tonight, it will prove this team is soft and doesn't have the intestinal fortitude needed to win a World Series. Bryce has been hit by pitches a lot lately, which says to me teams aren't scared of us. That's a problem. When the bats quiet down, you need mental toughness in order to push through and win a championship. Year after year, this team has shown they do not have that. Bone pouts, Bryce hustles when he feels like it, and Topper refuses to adjust. This combined with a lack of grit will be the reason this team gets bounced in the wild card round this year. People that are scared of Wheeler getting tossed tonight must have been the type to get punched in school but not fight back because they were scared of getting in trouble. In life, especially physical sports, when people hit you, you got to hit back to show them there are consequences for their actions. If not, people will continue to hit you and say you enjoy it. No retaliation equals no grit. No grit equals no chip. Stay blessed, OG.
OG.
So what do you think of H's email?
I don't know, man. Like I'm just not buying it that if they don't retaliate now, the team has no chance of winning the World Series because they lack grit.
No, I think they have a big chance to win the World Series. I don't project it. Like I don't go, oh, they don't have any grit because that didn't happen last night. Should it have happened 2 nights ago? Yeah, it should have happened 2 nights ago. Will it happen today? I don't care as much. I cared at the moment.
Well, how about this? Your boy Robbie Thompson addressed this.
Uh-huh.
We'll play the audio coming up next because I think him and I see eye to eye.
Awesome. Soft Robbie after this.
Eagles' new offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo.
This is what I do. This is what
Simple as that. I mean, if I think somebody's throwing at one of our hitters, I don't know what I do, but if it's a pitch that gets away from a pitcher, which I believe it was, and I think that everybody in that clubhouse thinks it was, that's baseball. It happens.
See, he's smarter than that because every hit by pitch doesn't have to be intentional. It's the circumstance. It's the ramifications of the pitch, what it does that should make you viscerally react. Of course, he didn't mean it on purpose. He wasn't headhunting him. But he was throwing inside, and Bryce Harper's now been hit a lot inside. So Rob Thompson is smarter than to say something like that. I'm disappointed in that answer.
I agree with him 100%.
Well, of course you agree with him.
100%.
Because you've been saying it for the whole time. It wasn't intentional. It doesn't matter.
It should matter. It should matter. And this is what I'm talking. All these people coming at me about not being a baseball guy and all this crap that I keep hearing on social media. Rob Thompson has been around the game longer than any of us combined. And he's saying the exact same thing. It was not intentional. There's no reason to throw at another player.
He's being overly passive, and maybe his players don't agree with him.
I don't think he's being overly passive.
Totally overly passive because it wasn't intentional. No kidding. Nobody thought it was intentional.
No, there are people who thought it was intentional.
No, who's thinking it's intentional? No, there's no reason for it to be intentional.
We had a caller call in and say it was intentional.
That guy's misguided. I can clearly tell you that it wasn't intentional, but he's throwing inside on purpose. And when you throw inside and you get a little loose inside and you hurt my guy, it doesn't matter if it's intentional.
Oh, Robbie T disagrees with you. Your boy Robbie T.
Now he's your boy.
Disagrees with you.
Now he's your boy, Robbie T.
And listen, let me get this out there. If I'm Bryce Harper and I think somebody threw at me intentionally, I'm charging him out. And I'm all for it. Charge the damn mound. Someone throws a projectile at you on purpose at over 95 miles an hour, you have every right to charge the damn mound. No, you don't,
because then you get tossed early in the game.
Who cares?
And you hurt your team.
Who cares?
I mean, who cares? You obviously don't. You can't just intentionally hurt your team by getting thrown out of a game.
But yet
you're the one who's talking about, well, Ranger Suarez would have got thrown out of the game. It would have hurt his team.
Yes.
All right, well,
so you're okay with that.
You're not applying the same rationale.
No.
Because I'm telling you, Ranger wouldn't have been thrown out of the game. If you charge the mound, you're gone.
If Ranger would have gotten thrown out of that game, that puts all that stress on your bullpen.
Ranger would not have got thrown out of the game. If Harper charges the mound, he would have got thrown out of the game.
I'm not saying he should have because it was not intentional. But if someone throws at me intentionally, I'm not waiting for a pitcher to throw at another guy. I'm going and I'm making him answer for it myself.
Oh,
and it doesn't matter if I get thrown out of the game.
Mr. Macho.
That is a lot more tough guy than saying, can you throw a projectile at the other guy for me? Get out of here. Rob Thompson's right. I knew I was a big fan of Robbie. Ray, can you help me on this argument today? I know you're on my side with this.
Yeah, I'm a pacifist on this one. I don't even have to go down the whole macho man, let's be tough guys about this. You're playing Spencer Strider. The last thing I want to do is give the other team an opportunity to score runs. You put one in the back of one of their guys. It puts him on base. Ranger already had traffic on the base paths in that game. They won that game by 2 runs. Just strategically speaking, I want to win the baseball game. Forget everything else. I'm not putting a guy on base just because,
it's the second inning.
Is really going to teach him.
It's the second inning, and the six batters up. 7, 8, 9 suck.
Okay.
What peril are you putting yourself into?
He walked one of those guys anyways.
What, did they score? They didn't score. It's a weakened lineup. It's the perfect scenario as Albies leads off the second.
Yeah, okay.
You're not putting your team in peril by putting a guy on base with those hitters behind him.
It was a 1-run game.
It was 0-0. In the second inning, it was 0-0.
It was a 1-run game until the 8th. Okay, so it's a 0-0 game at that point. Even more reason, it's a tie game. Spencer Strider's on the other side of the game.
You need to tell me you're that scared of putting Albies on base with a hit by pitch. With that direct coming up?
I care about winning.
Man.
The job of the pitcher is to get outs.
Eli, what's the hell's the guy's name that starts for them?
The job of the pitcher is to get outs.
He got enough outs. He can get outs. He's a good pitcher. You're going to be afraid of one base runner in the second inning?
I'm not giving you a base runner.
You heard Ricky Pitalico yesterday, right? It's the second inning.
I heard Ricky Pitalico.
Second inning. It's early in the game.
I'm perfectly fine with Ricky Pitalico. The reason Ricky threw at Barry Bonds is because one of his teammates didn't want to throw at Barry Bonds. There's not everyone in baseball is sitting here like you have to retaliate. That's the way Ricky feels. I'm very happy for the way Ricky feels on this one. I'm not giving them a base runner just because you got to teach him by throwing 92 miles per hour at his ass.
Oh my God.
What is he learning? Oh, that's going to be sore tomorrow.
You're sticking up for your team. You're protecting your team. You're saying, on my watch, if that happens, this is going to happen, and now we're even. And now we can move on without some official throwing a flag. That's what baseball is.
I don't know, man. Rob Thompson.
Too passive.
He got it right.
Can't believe it.
It's not about being passive.
You heard me today say, today doesn't matter to me. They don't have to do it today. At the moment of the visceral response is when it had to be done. That's all. I'm not a barbarian here. I am very lucid. I am very even, very logical on this particular subject.
That I don't get. If you want him to retaliate, it shouldn't matter if it's yesterday or today.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
I am not passive. I am saying, and people are saying, well, Bryce Harper couldn't charge the mound because he hurt his elbow. I didn't say he should have charged the mound because I don't think it was intentional. I'm saying that if you feel that someone threw at you intentionally, then I'm okay with you charging the mound to make him answer for it.
How many times have you seen the guy get hit with a pitch, yell at the pitcher, come on, man, get control of yourself? Bryce Harper's done that many times when he's gotten hit.
Okay.
Get control of yourself. So
does that mean that you have to throw it to the guy on the other team?
No, if you want to throw inside, get control of yourself. Don't hit me in the elbow.
That's fine. That's
fine.
fine.
That's the message.
But then I don't think Ranger now has to throw at somebody else intentionally when you know it wasn't intentional from the other guy. I don't know, man. It's
I started to crack you, and now you're going back to
because Rob Thompson is emboldened me.
The soft Bill Colorado.
He's emboldened me.
610.
But according to our YouTube chat, I'm just a sheltered prep school kid.
Well, you kind of are.
Please, sheltered. People don't know anything about you, and they hear you, and they called Ray sheltered because he ran cross country. Me and you are just two sheltered kids, Ray. That's what we're being called.
It's a shame.
At least I was called a kid.
Yeah, hey, you got your youth back. Guy with the bald spot. Too young to understand.
I'm the only person in the studio wasn't sheltered. That's all I got to say. 610-632-0975. I ate freaking nails for snacks when I was a kid. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader down at CBP. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies and Braves will play a day-night doubleheader today, starting with a 1:05 first pitch at Citizens Bank Park. Christopher Sanchez will be opposed by A.J. Smith-Shawver in Game 1, and will be a battle of the top two finishers in the NL Cy Young voting last year in Game 2, with Zach Wheeler and Chris Sale matching up at 6:45. Elsewhere in South Philly, Eagles wrapped up the first 2 days of OTAs yesterday, where a number of Eagles, including offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo for the first time. Patullo was asked about his relationship with Nick Sirianni and how he sees their dynamic working together in his new role.
I think there's a lot of fundamental things that we see the same way, but I do think our brains work differently. So it's a good back and forth conversational piece that we have constantly. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that he believes in that I believe in as well. And we're going to do those things. But I do think we challenge each other to grow.
Outside of Patullo speaking, two big storylines for yesterday's practice was Bryce Huff's absence and Cooper Jean playing outside corner during a portion of practice. Union won 2-1 last night on the back of a stoppage time goal from Kai Bogman. The win keeps the Union at the top of the Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by Batteries Plus. Remember when you had a guy, someone who could fix anything? They still exist at Batteries Plus. Their expert knowledge on batteries will have you on your way and good to go in no time. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
News and noon. We got a lot of people on hold who want to talk about this retaliation thing. Also, a little later in the show, I'm looking for a vintage car collector.
What do you want one?
No, I want to sell one. I want to sell my vintage car.
Wait, you have a vintage car?
Yeah, I have a vintage. Yeah, I have a 1980 Fiat Spider convertible.
Oh, it's you
looking to sell it to a car collector and give it a good home. So we'll look for that later.
You go to one of those auctions. You ever see that on TV? Those auctions?
Yeah, I got to figure out how to do it. There are people in the know that know how to do this because I'm not really plugged into that scene. But it's like I don't drive it hardly at all now. You know, I got to keep up with the battery. And
well, why would you drive that?
I get gawked at when I drive it.
Why would you drive that when you got that beautiful Telluride?
Well, that's the truth. But sometimes a sporty little convertible, a little sports car, you know, a throwback.
The convertible, hair in the wind, going down the shore.
It's actually got crank windows, and it's got a manual convertible top that you have to latch.
Oh, that thing's a throwback.
It is a throwback.
You ever bring it up on the Ocean City Boardwalk for car shows or anything?
No, I hadn't displayed it at all. But it's in really good shape. I wanted to have a good home. I've had it since 1980.
Maybe my father-in-law will be interested.
You think?
He's got an old Chevy in his garage. I forget what he has.
It's a Fiat Spider convertible, man. It's a sharp car. It's the first year the Fiat went with a fuel-injected engine. It's got good giddy-up.
It's 80, though. I think he likes like the cars that were in the 60s.
It's a 5-speed manual transmission.
Now, we had a 1955 Chevy Bel Air when I was a kid.
Oh, you did?
That thing was awesome.
A Bel Air, huh? I think the first car I remember my parents having was an Impala. Chevy Impala.
They don't make them like they used to.
No, they don't. They don't make them like they used to. Let's get back to the phones. Let's see. We got Joe and Mantua on the line. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Joe?
Yeah, how you doing, Mike?
Good, Joe.
Yeah, my old man had an Impala too, man. He's probably roughly the same age. I'm roughly the same age as you.
Oh, my family was a Chevy. My father was a Chevy man.
Yeah, we had a couple of them. But anyway, as far as Ranger goes, but I mean, last game with Harper, the fact it was Harper, the fact that he had to leave the game, Ranger should have drilled the next guy right in the ribs.
That's what I mean. It was too visceral to ignore.
It just, I mean, he would have earned major street cred with the team. The Braves know the deal. The umpire would have won both benches, and that would have been the end of it.
Would have been the end. And now it's got to carry over. It's got to linger. Now you never know when it's going to be done or if it's going to be done. According to Rob Thompson, you never do it. Rob's answer was soft.
Well, whatever Rob said to the media isn't necessarily what he said to the pitcher today. Who's pitching first game? Wheeler?
No, Sanchez. Wheeler's the nightcap.
He might have gave him a different message.
Maybe,
so
but I don't think managers do that. I think they trust their players to take it under their own volition.
Yeah, he's old school. He might, but I mean, Sanchez is a younger guy. But like I said, if I was out there, I can't throw the ball any more than 40 miles an hour now. But I'd throw it right in his rib cage.
Right in the rib cage, right in the ash area, the hip. That's where you get him.
Hurt the guy, but I mean,
that's right.
Send a message.
Exactly. Send a message. All right, Joe. You got it, buddy.
I can't. I get called the meathead on the show, and I'm the one who's saying this is a ridiculous thing.
I would pitch in these age group leagues because I still had a good wing, so I was a pitcher in these leagues. Not anymore, but I told you the story about the kid came up and he watched too much TV. You could tell he's never played organized baseball, but he had all the moves. He had 3 different wristbands on his arms. He had his stocks way pulled up. He had this belt that was tucked. He had eye black, the whole bit, and he's digging in with his right foot. He's digging in. He's tracking. He's making his little right foot hole so he can step in the batter's box.
So meanwhile,
I'm out there trying. I'm watching this kid. Look at this kid, Mr. T. Watch TV, trying to imitate a ball player. First pitch, right at him.
Yeah,
right at him.
Well, that's a little bit different.
Oh, that's a little bit different.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah, respect the game. Skip.
Respect the game.
Get in the box, get ready to hit, Skip.
And that kid would have been justified if he charged because it was intentional.
I want to charge it.
If you hit him, were you expecting someone on your team to wear one?
I didn't care at that point. I had to do what I had to do.
I just wanted to make sure.
My whole team was watching that whole scene that I was watching.
Yeah.
We got hands on our hips.
Yeah, see, but
this kid get ready to hit some fancy-ass kid.
But to Ray's point, this now goes against what you were saying before because now if they throw at someone of the Braves, they won't throw inside the Harper.
In that league, nobody had those kind of guts to do that. The major leagues is different. Wow. It's 12 o'clock. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. You're listening to it on WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. And we broadcast every day from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, we got Jason, Michael, and John on hold. You guys stay in there. We're going to get to you. But right now, it's noontime, it's lunchtime, and it is time for people to wait for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ray Dunn with 3 stories for the news at noon. And he's, oh no, yeah, he's got a Mad Dog Russo story at the top. Ray, you're killing me. Go ahead.
It was sent to me one too many times. Actually, before we even got off the air yesterday, it sent to me a couple of times. Then throughout the day, people saw Mad Dog Russo immediately. They thought of you. I don't know how that makes you feel inside, but they wanted to make sure this was on the news at noon. Mad Dog yesterday on First Take, they do this segment, What is Mad Dog Mad About? And they had to do that segment in the hallway because the studio lost power, which changed what Mad Dog was mad about in that moment. Take a listen.
We lost power. So, Mad Dog, tell us why you're mad. I'm sure you're not happy about this.
If they didn't pay Stephen A. $400 million, maybe they could pay the freaking bills. ESPN, Bert, Jimmy, and the fellas. I mean, goodness gracious, how dare you, squeeze me and stick me in a hallway with strikes from 2000. Look at these stupid streets. Oh, they're right here. Look at that. I don't like that. You took me away from my sight, all because you got to pay him $150 million guaranteed.
What are you doing to me? I got to be in the hallway? Goodness gracious! Goodness gracious! There's rodents in here. There's roaches. I'm Mad Dog Russo, for crying out loud. I don't deserve this treatment for the media, Stephen A. What do I get? I get roaches.
Our listeners are going to have a hard time differentiating which one's Mike and which one is you playing audio.
I got to do it in the hallway. I had a nice studio. What happened? Somebody pull a plug?
Even Stephen A. was laughing at this one.
Goodness gracious.
He was trying to keep himself contained, Stephen A.
He was. He couldn't, though. But, yeah, I mean, Mad Dog was doing it from the hallway.
Yeah.
It was kind of ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. The worldwide leader had them out in the hallway.
Let me tell you something. My father, Anthony Russo, is turning over in his grave to see his son treated like this. Goodness gracious.
Moving on to the next one here. College baseball. I don't think we've ever had that on the news at noon before. It has nothing to do with college baseball in itself. UNC player Luke Stevenson was caught chowing down a PB&J sandwich during the game. So naturally, they pressed for the sideline reporter to go get the story on this. Take a listen to this.
We got to ask Luke Stevenson, by the way, about his PB&Js. This is a couple games in a row now. We've seen him chowing down in game.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
Get the protein, sweetness. It fills you up.
Everyone's
You got the sandwich details. I'm trying to keep it together. Okay, first of all, he makes over $1,500 a year.
Wait, what? Hold on.
For a season.
$1,500?
Yes. Guys.
Does he have one every 2 seconds?
My sources say.
Your sources better get fact checked here.
That's a lot. That's 4 a day.
Question my source. That's not that many. That's not that many. Listen, he wouldn't divulge the type of peanut butter. I said, I can't tell you that.
But it is peanut butter and not almond butter?
Listen, he said I can't divulge it. He did say it's made with love, and it's a special kind of bread.
You gotta give him.
And then, hold on.
We gotta know this kind of stuff.
Walter Boaz turned and looked at me and said, they're unbelievable.
More Kind bars in a year or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for Luke Stevenson?
Don't these dummies to broadcast college baseball know that a PB&J is great energy for a baseball player? You ever see golfers take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and they're back all the time?
Castellanos was eating the Uncrustable the other night.
Yeah, very popular.
Peanut butter and jelly is a nice source of energy.
Now, you heard almond butter reference there. I'm a big almond butter guy. May you surprise you.
That's why I left that in there, because I knew we were going to get that out of you.
Peanut butter's got more protein than almond butter, doesn't it?
Either way, you should always go with the all-natural peanut butter, even though the oil rises to the top.
And that's why this was in the news.
A little bit healthier of a peanut butter.
You know, he's got like Skippy and Jif. Not good enough for Bill Colarulo. He's got to get the pressed. He got to go to Whole Foods to get the pressed peanuts.
If you do go with Skippy, Jif, or whatever you go with, you got to go crunchy, in my opinion.
Oh,
Big crunchy peanut butter.
Well, just eat peanuts then.
No, I love the crunch.
Smooth with jelly. You can't have crunchy peanuts with jelly.
When I was a kid, I would go smooth. As I got older,
you don't put jelly on it, do you?
And
You're one of those guys. Don't put the jelly.
A little bit of jelly.
Oh, a little bit of jelly.
Mostly peanut butter.
I know. I can't the sugar.
Well, and the jelly I would go with was probably more of a natural preserve.
You're obnoxious. Let's move on.
Do you believe 1,500 in a year, though?
No.
No shot, right?
No shot. That would be 3 a day. More than that. 4 a day.
Almost 4 a day.
Yeah, no way.
All right. Last one for you here. Obviously, last night's NBA game was terrible. If you stayed up to watch it, that's, I guess, because you wanted to see the Thunder celebrate. Chris Finch, after the game, this is a bigger picture question for you, was asked about what Anthony Edwards would learn from this series. I'm going to play you the full clip, and I'm going to play you the clip that I saw circulating from this conversation and why I think our media is just screwed.
What did Ant learn? Obviously, he's got to, learn to play against that physicality and that type of kind of holding all the time. I think, they made it really hard for him. I thought for a lot of the series he did make the right play, and we preach that to him all the time. Yeah, we need him to be aggressive for sure. He's got to find some easier buckets. I got to help him do that. I think we were never able to establish something consistent with him, and that's on us as much as anybody. So
good normal coach speak, and honestly taking accountability for the series. Mm-hmm. This is what the aggregators are right now trying to push for you.
He's got to, learn to play against that physicality and that type of kind of holding all the time.
Yeah. And that's all you get out of it. It makes it seem like there's a Finch and Edwards rift that I didn't get from the original clip.
I don't know. It makes it feel like he's blaming the other team for holding his player.
That too. But I mean, a coach speak. He's gonna.
It's like, he's got to learn to play. I think he's taking a subtle shot at the way they defended him. That maybe it was unfair that it wasn't called. Which way do you see that, Bill?
I don't know, because it's two different things there. Maybe he's taking a shot. Maybe he's taking
a little shot. I mean, listen, he's trying to blame his player, obviously, and then he softens the blow a little.
So you think he's taking a shot at the officiating, or he is taking a shot at Ant-Man?
I think he's taking a little bit of original shot at Ant-Man, and then while he's at it, he'll discredit the other team by saying, "No, the only way they could defend him is hold him."
Yeah, or he's backpedaling because he's like, "Oh man,
Ant's going to get mad at me,
and
I'll be out of a job with my star player." Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that happens. All right, that's the news at noon. 610-632-0975. The people that were on hold who hung up. Come back to us. Come back. I'd love to talk to you about this retaliation. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas.
Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. One of our premier texters, DeWood, has an interesting trade proposition I want to throw out a little bit. But first, I want to hear Rob Thompson again address the lack of retaliation, because Bill has now bonded with his least favorite manager, his least favorite coach in the city, Rob Thompson. Although I'm sure that you thought it was really great that he dropped JT down to 8th the other night in the lineup, right?
I've had my issues with Rob Thompson.
Rob is coming along
the way he's managed this year, I've been very happy with it. He's not allowing them to get complacent. He's moving people up and down the lineup. He dropped Bohm when he was struggling. Bohm proved himself. He's moving back up. JT struggling, moved him down.
Now, Rob Thompson has been in baseball to know that it doesn't matter if your guy gets hit with a pitch and it's intentional. He's been in, like, how many years has the guy been in? He's been in minor leagues. The old school guys know that it doesn't have to be intentional. That if you consistently pitch to your best player inside and that best player keeps getting hit, well, then it doesn't matter if it's intentional. It's routine. It's people getting comfortable throwing at your star hitter inside. And occasionally you're going to get plunked when you throw inside. He should know that. But this is what he said on the lack of retaliation.
What was the reason there was no retaliation the other night?
Because it's not on purpose. Simple as that. I mean, if I think somebody's throwing at one of our hitters, I don't know what I do, but if it's a pitch that gets away from a pitcher, which I believe it was, and I think that everybody in that clubhouse thinks it was, that's baseball. It happens.
Yeah. You know what else is baseball? When you actually address it and your pitcher stands up for your guy to get hit. That's baseball too, Rob. Don't forget it. Don't forget that, Rob. Don't get soft on me like Ray and Bill here.
Now, I'm eye to eye with Robbie T. When he's saying that ball got away from Strider, look, if you're throwing high and inside, maybe I can see where you're going, even though I'm not going to agree. Maybe this ball got so away from him. I mean, it was obvious. It was so unintentional.
It's funny. You're using Robbie Thompson as justification for your position. That's really hysterical to me.
Me and Rob Thompson, man.
Yeah.
Hold me closer, Robbie
You're such
Thompson.
a fugazi when it comes to that.
Listen, Rob Thompson is just – I'm not going to agree with every move he makes. I didn't agree with everything Sirianni did. But
Rob Thompson is wrong.
He's wrong in your eyes.
When he says that because it wasn't intentional. There are a ton of hit by pitch that aren't intentional. It doesn't matter. The context of it matters. Your guy dropped right to his knees right before you to the point you had to take him out of a game. That doesn't mean anything to you as a manager? All right. Doesn't mean anything.
Now, he does stop short of saying if he thought it was intentional, he goes, oh, well, I don't know what I would do. I mean, you know what you would do. You'd have somebody throw it.
Give somebody an eyeball.
Yeah.
You know what you got to do. In this situation, perfect scenario. I mean, it couldn't have been any more perfect. Ozzie Albies leads off the second inning. It's no score. You got 7, 8, 9 that stink. I can get out of the inning easy. I'll send the message now. Ranger didn't do it.
Now, I've been getting crushed by a majority of Phillies fans for my position on this. Ray as well, saying we would not have retaliated. Rob Thompson, who already kind of has that Sleepy Rob moniker that people put on him, I don't think he's going to make a lot of people happy with this statement. Although I agree with it, I think a majority of Phillies fans are probably not happy with Rob Thompson's response. They're probably saying what you're saying.
2 prep school elitists.
Do something.
2 preppy school elitists.
You see, Ray, we never should have given him that ammunition from these people.
Yeah, that I paid for my public school education.
Yeah. And I got student loans.
You went to a really nice preppy type of public school.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And so did he.
Spring Forest.
I'm going to ask Mike to pay my student loans for me.
Good call.
Your student loans are already paid for, pal.
I wish they were.
They're not?
No.
Your high school loans?
High school.
High school you got paid for, didn't you?
Yeah, high school, thankfully.
Did you go to a preppy high school?
Yeah, it was a prep school.
See, that bled into you.
It bled.
Sometimes it surfaces.
It bled into
Sometimes it surfaces when you go to a prep school. It comes out like this.
I grew up on the mean streets of Glendora, New Jersey, baby.
Yeah, you like to fake that you're a tough guy. Meanwhile, you're wearing a blazer to math class in 10th grade.
I had the varsity letter sweater in 10th grade. All right? Varsity letter. Get it right.
My blazer looked good, Mom?
You had to wear a
Does
blazer.
My blazer look good?
Unless you were a varsity athlete, you got to wear the letter sweater. Man, I'm losing this argument right now. I'm making myself sound worse, aren't I?
Not helping yourself.
You know what? I still have it. Maybe I should wear it in tomorrow.
Is my blue blazer dry clean, Mom?
It was a dark gray.
Okay.
All right?
Did it have a crest on it?
You had to wear it. Yeah, it did. And you had to wear a shirt and tie every day.
Oh, no, shirt and tie and a crest.
Brutal, man. Brutal.
Let's go to Jacksonville, Florida. Wallace is checking in. What's up, Wallace?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, Wallace?
I'm all right. Just wanted to put my little 2 cents in on the retaliation thing.
Go ahead.
So, just a quick story. When I was in high school playing ball, my best friend, we were killing this team 6-0. I got plunked on a 3-2 curveball. Now, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, all right, whatever. First base, and in the end, my best friend comes back out there. I didn't know he was going to do it at all. I didn't want him to. I didn't care. It was a curveball, So he plunked the first guy, then he struck out the side. He came to me, and he was like, "Hey, man, they're not gonna get away." I was like, "Cool, you didn't have to." He was like, "Yeah, bro, but they got to know I got your back." So usually, I am not agreeing with Mike on a lot of the hit by pitch, but for some reason, I agree with him on this. I just do. I don't know why.
First of all, your friend has 2 violations. Number 1, in high school, you shouldn't be retaliating. Number 2, he hit him with a curveball. He must have just lost control with a curveball.
I got hit. I got hit with a curveball.
Oh, you got hit with a curveball. Well, that's no retaliation. You got hit with a curveball.
I know, but he just wanted to make the point that he had my back. I know, but he just wanted to make the point that he had my back, and I don't know, for some reason.
Wallace, he got to process that. You get hit with a curveball. That's totally accidental.
Yeah, I know, but he said the guy hit me. He just wanted them to know that.
Yeah, well, he's got the right mindset. He's got a baseball mindset, but in high school, you shouldn't be doing something like that. And secondly, if you got hit with a curveball, that's no that's no reciprocity.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of surprised when he did it. And I was like, oh well, I mean, shit.
Yeah, that's a violation on your man. What was your man's name?
Cole Ingram. He's with the Gwinnett Braves right now.
Oh, is he? Oh, so he's not listening? He's with the Gwinnett Braves. He's in the Atlanta Braves system.
Pretty good.
That?
Yeah, I know, man.
So he rose above. See, in Florida, you guys played some ball, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. See, Bill, if I was raised in Florida, I could have been somebody.
You could have.
All right, thanks, Wallace. I appreciate the call.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Where's Wallace, String? Where's Wallace?
There you go. Another wire line. Michael B. Jordan was Wallace.
Yes, he was.
How about that?
Yes, he was.
610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader down at Citizens Bank Park. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies and Braves play a day-night doubleheader today, starting with a 1:05 first pitch at Citizens Bank Park. Christopher Sanchez will be opposed by A.J. Smith-Shawver in Game 1. It'll be a battle of the top 2 finishers in NL Cy Young voting last year in Game 2 with Zach Wheeler and Chris Sale at 6:45. Elsewhere in South Philly, Eagles wrapped up the first 2 days of OTAs yesterday. We heard from a number of Eagles, including offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo for the first time. Patullo was asked about his relationship with Nick Sirianni, and now he sees their dynamic working together in his new role.
I think there's a lot of fundamental things that we see the same way, but I do think our brains work differently. So it's a good back and forth conversational piece that we have constantly. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that he believes in that I believe in as well. And we're going to do those things. But I do think we challenge each other to grow.
Outside Patullo speaking, 2 big storylines from yesterday's practice was Bryce Huff's absence and Cooper DeJean getting some time at outside corner during a portion of practice. The Union won 2-1 last night on the back of a stoppage time goal from Kai Wagner. The win keeps the Union at the top of the Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by Batteries Plus. Remember, you had a guy, someone who could fix anything. They still exist at Batteries Plus. Their expert knowledge on batteries will have you on your way and good to go in no time. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
75 the Fanatic. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. Now, I'm serious about this car collector, man. If you're a car collector out there or you know anybody who's in that industry, email me. I'm dead serious. This is the way I can get the word out.
Yes, someone on the YouTube chat, I forgot to mention it. You were on the phone with that caller.
Email me. Here's my email address. MikeMiss@bbgi.com.
I'm looking for it.
I want to give it a good home.
I think his name was Gino. He said his uncle has been looking for that exact car.
Really?
Yeah. So hopefully, if Gino's still listening, he sent you an email.
Gino, send me an email on that. Now, I hate to part. It's going to be tears when I part with it, to be honest with you.
What happened to you? You're crying this weekend at the boardwalk? You're crying past
Listen, man,
the
I've
zoo?
had that car since 1980. A friend of mine bought it new. A Fiat Spider convertible. It was a sharp car at the time. He didn't like it. He sold it to me. It had 5,000 miles on it. I've had that ever since. It used to be my main car.
Where do you keep it? You just keep it? You ever bring it down the shore?
I keep it garaged. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a long drive.
If a long drive, something breaks down, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And it's at the age where, well, unfortunately, I have a mechanic who lives around near me who's a Fiat man. He was transferred here, Italian guy, transferred by the Fiat company years and years ago when they sold cars in North America like that. And he treats it like it's a temple.
I just can't believe you're going to break down and cry again.
I'm a little sentimental. What do you give it? Listen.
I didn't realize. Ray, did you know that Mike had such a sentimental side?
I didn't know.
Ray, you're youngin'. But when things have been in your life for a really long time, you have to part with them. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Right?
Someday I'll understand.
Well, Ray, when you have to get rid of that Toyota Avalon you got out there.
I probably will be upset. Experienced a lot with that thing.
You have.
Well, that's what I mean.
Close to 200,000 miles,
It becomes
man.
part of you, man. I mean, I had that car. It was my main car for like 20 years. Well, not quite 20, but I mean, a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've kept it ever since, and I've had it. I keep it in great shape. I've had a makeover done on it. I've had a rebuilt engine put in it. It's got a beautiful sound system in it.
Yeah, see, I've made the mistake. I have not owned a car since my first car when I was 17, and then I just leased, which is not necessarily the best thing financially.
How much you think a vintage 1980 Fiat Spider would be worth?
How many miles?
Well, it's got a lot of miles on it, but it's got a rebuilt engine, so it's irrelevant.
All right. I'm looking it up. I'll get you a little roundabout.
Give me a blue book. I'm talking about a collector price. A blue book's not going to be worth anything.
No, not blue book. It says here 1980 Fiat Spider rebuilt engine could cost anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000.
Yeah, see, I got to have more than that. Yeah, I'm looking for a 15-piece for that. It's a collector.
Well, and there's got to be added value that it's Mike Missanelli.
Well, then there's probably no value.
You got to sign the seats?
Like somebody from out of town, then somewhere in Michigan would want the car. I don't know how to publicize it, like on these car websites.
Put it on Facebook Marketplace.
Is that where you put it? Facebook Marketplace?
I don't think you should put it on.
No?
Get the word out there.
I got to put it on a car collective site, and I don't know what those are. That's why I'm asking for a car collector to give me some information. All right, in any event, Phil's today. In about an hour, it'll start the first game. Give me the lineup today, Billy.
Not even
against the right-hander?
Correct. So they switched. The Braves kept their starters exactly the same way, but the Phillies flip-flopped. So it's Sanchez is starting today. Wheeler will start tonight against the lefty Chris Sale.
Mm-hmm.
But for the lineup today against the righty Smith Shalver, Phillies got Bryson Stott leading off, playing second. Trey Turner at short, batting second. With Harper out of the lineup, Schwarber moves up to the 3 spot. Alec Boehm moves into the cleanup spot and plays first again. Batting 5th, playing right, Nick Castellanos. In left field, you got Max Kepler. Edmundo Sosa still in the lineup at third base with Boehm moving over to first. Brandon Marsh in center. And behind the plate, Rafael Marchand. So I'm assuming that means JT tonight, which is a little bit of an interesting decision because JT...
Coming up on night off.
Well, not only the night off.
He would have played that day game.
He is hitting 98. Not 198, not 298, 98 against left-handers, and Chris Sale's on the mound tonight.
He's not hitting left-handers.
So it would have made maybe some more sense to have him go, but I'm assuming they want him to catch Wheeler.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let me look at this trade. Our good pal, DeWood, who is a big listener of us. I wonder how many people are on board with this trade. DeWood is proposing that the Phillies trade Ranger Suarez, Johan Rojas, and Mick Abel to the Baltimore Orioles for starting center fielder Cedric Mullins and relief pitcher Felix Bautista, their closer. Would you do it?
All right, so the trade is Ranger, Abel, and Rojas.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my concern with it. Cedric Mullins, another left-handed bat. He's a rental because he's in the final year of his contract.
Mm-hmm.
And he also tends to strike out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily love putting him on a lineup that's also going to have Brandon Marsh in center. So, I mean, I'm assuming Marsh isn't playing at all.
All right, let me ask you this. If you substituted Marsh for Rojas in that deal, would you do it?
Maybe I like it a little bit more, but then you're going back to a platoon. So why would you trade Mick Abel and Ranger?
You're not going back to a platoon. Cedric Mullins will play every day.
All right, then what's the
player.
difference? What's the difference in keeping Rojas then?
Well, there is no difference. That's why I said you can trade Marsh for another piece. If you get, first of all, I would do this deal. I would do it.
But Cedric Mullins, do you really want to?
I would, a starting center fielder. He's a starting center fielder. I don't have that now. I got a platoon center field. And I get another hammer in the bullpen. For Ranger, who you're probably not going to sign, Johan Rojas is meaningless to me, and Mick Abel, who is expendable.
Yeah, but listen to these numbers, all right? Because Felix Bautista, I like that, right? You get the right-handed arm in the pen. You're right.
Yeah.
But to add all of that, Ranger and Abel and Rojas, to get a guy who's hitting 232 this year, he hit 234 last year, and he hit 233 in 2023.
Was an all-star, though, 2 years ago.
He was an all-star back in 2021, which is the only year he had some power. He hit 30 home runs in 2021.
Uh-huh.
But
how old is he?
He's 30.
Mullins is 30?
Yeah, he's 30. He'll be 31 in October.
I didn't think he was that old.
I just don't like that the last 3 seasons he hasn't hit over 230.
You're right, and that coincides with the age. So now I don't like it as much. I thought Cedric Mullins was like 26.
Now let me ask you this one.
What?
Would you trade Mick Abel for Felix Bautista straight up?
No. Why, are you kidding?
I think maybe you could convince Baltimore to maybe do that.
You would hesitate to do that trade?
No, I'm saying I would.
Okay, of course.
Could you convince Baltimore to do that? Hey, listen, you guys aren't doing anything this year.
Yeah.
You stink.
You get a guy who's under team control. They're making the rookie salaries. Yes, I would do that in a flat heartbeat.
But I wouldn't include Ranger to get Cedric Mullins.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Ray, what would you do? You're a big baseball guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to suspend belief on this one because I struggle to figure out what the Orioles' motive would be for Ranger when they're not paying anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But if we go with just a Bautista for Abel, yeah, I'm doing that. I want the arm out of the pen, and I know everyone's high on Abel because they saw him for 6 innings and he looked incredible for those 6 innings. What we're talking about, guys, and their pedigree, what we saw from them a year ago. Abel was not worth anything and fell out of the top 100 prospects because he didn't have any sort of command on the mound. Now, he looks better this season, but right now you've got him at peak value. You get a closer that is under team control. I would do that.
Let me ask you this. What do you think Ranger's price is as a kind of a, he's not a marquee guy. He's not going to get kind of NOLA-type money. What is he? Is he a $20 million guy?
The fact that he's a lefty in this class is probably going to help him in terms of the money he gets.
So what is that? What does that mean? What is it, 25 million?
25.
20?
High teens to 20?
All right, high teens to 20 makes him a value as a starting pitcher if you get him under contract. And the Orioles may be looking for a value like that.
The only reason I say he's high teens to 20 is because I don't know what the market's going to be for a guy you've seen back-to-back years have injury concerns and hasn't put up the number of innings that you've seen
and that's
for the long time.
And that's how the Orioles get a cut right price.
I guess, but the
Orioles are still they have the foundation of still a pretty good young team. I don't know what's happening to them this year.
Yeah, well, they Charlie Morton and Kyle Gibson were like their 2 big starting pitching free agent acquisitions. So if they're looking to go all in and spend on someone, Ranger Suarez could be a guy for them. I don't know what their exact offseason plans for that. I don't know if they're hesitant to spend money or if this offseason they didn't see reason to spend money. I don't know why they didn't see reason to spend money this offseason. Still
all right.
Baffles me.
A lot of things to think about. 610-632-0975. We got Richard, Rob, Mike. You guys hang in there. We'll get to you. It's the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Connor Thomas.
get into the show. A little later in the show. Ray, I don't know if you read this story. Mormon women have been given a gift of freedom. Yep. That story is coming up in a little bit. Mormon women in the United States and around the world are rejoicing at a compromise that has been given to them. I don't know if you read this story. If you haven't, you better hold on because I'm going to do it a little later.
Huh?
You heard me.
What?
Yep. What? What could this be? What? Gift of freedom.
I almost passed out in the bathroom, by the way. That's why I'm late.
What happened?
I started coughing.
Oh, really?
And then the next thing, when you're coughing, it's like you start to lose your breath.
No.
Anyway, I just popped a cough drop.
What do you got, a Ricola? Ricola.
Do you remember those commercials? I usually go with the throat coats.
What'd you do?
But the store I went to, they didn't have them.
You went to the vendor, or you brought these with you?
This was at the supermarket down the shore. Honey lemon with echinacea.
That's a good item.
Is that what it's called?
Echinacea, I think.
Anyway, hopefully it works.
And what was your excuse, right?
I just got distracted talking to Connor, Andrew, and Vito. I got
right.
nothing.
Because Ray, because your little tricycle, you met Connor on the beach. Now you're fast friends.
Yeah, and DeCheco, I went to the Phillies game with. So.
Oh, there you go. Look at this. This is a tight-knit group around here.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Are you offended at all that we've been doing the show with Ray now for over 200 shows, and he's gone out with Connor?
He doesn't have.
He's going to Phillies games with Andrew.
He certainly doesn't want to hang out with me because I'm old enough to be his dad.
He's been to Salciunas' house.
He doesn't like.
Been to Salciunas' house for barbecues.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, we're not invited. In Ray's
it's fine, right?
Ray's world is a separate world.
Fine.
Time out.
Yeah.
I was down the shore. Both of your phones worked this weekend.
It's fine.
Yeah, I know.
You know? I went over to see Mike.
Yeah, by
I know you were. Ray does have a point. You were in Wildwood. You could have texted him.
Yeah, I didn't know you were in Wildwood. I had no idea you were in Wildwood.
I said I was going down to Wildwood last week.
But I didn't know where you were in Wildwood. I was on the Wildwood boardwalk. You weren't hanging on the boardwalk, were you?
I could have come up and said hello. You could have won me a stuffed animal. You know?
That'd have been nice, right?
It would have been nice if we would have a panda bear.
I would have went home so happy on my tricycle.
But as Ray likes to say, they only pay me to be your friends until 2 o'clock.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
right. No, they pay me to be here until 2 o'clock.
Ray cuts it off at that point.
They don't pay me to be your friends at all.
Yeah, sure. All right, let's go Richard in Packer Park. Richard, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up?
Michael, KZH.
What's up, Richard?
I'm sorry. No, tell Ray it's echinacea. It's pronounced echinacea.
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 Yeah, that was
Thank
Bill.
you.
That was Bill. Echinacea.
Tastes good, whatever it is.
Okay, whatever. All right, 2 quick points, Michael.
He confused epilepsy with narcolepsy, so it's a slow burn for this man.
I'm getting there.
All right.
And the other thing, when you press down, right, it's the vagus nerve. You're pressing on that can make you dizzy.
Yeah.
That affects the heart rate. Anyway, regarding that the trade, I wouldn't want that Brandon Marsh too. That guy's another. He's like a clone of Brandon Marsh. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
who Mullins is? No, Mullins is a better player than Marsh.
Well,
Mullins was an
home runs. Well, Kepler hit 36 home runs 3 years ago. You know that. I mean, 3 years ago.
We're talking about Kepler. We're talking about Marsh compared to Mullins.
Yeah, but I'm making a comparison about the age thing. You know.
Okay.
Anyway, regarding the hit, that's been, and I'm the old school guy. You know, as I go way back, I think you got to get back. But the only thing is, I don't want to jeopardize the game. Like it might come tonight, it might come this afternoon. You follow me? I don't want to jeopardize the game.
How are you going to jeopardize the game in the second inning?
I'll answer your question. You asked me a question.
Yeah.
You put the guy on base, and Riley hits a home run, run homer.
Riley's not coming up. It's the sixth hitter, and then you go 7, 8, 9. That's why it was the perfect time.
Okay, I take that back. I want to win the game first. I want to put priority, but I am old school. It's going to happen. You know, revenge is best served.
Second inning, Richard, for crying out loud! What, you going to take yourself out of winning the game in the second inning?
Oh, okay, I hear you.
Come on.
All right, you want to give it? All right, okay, I hear you. Second inning, but anyway, any update on
Harper?
Harper, yeah.
Harper, any update? He's not in the game. He's not in this game.
He's not in this one.
I assume that he might miss. He might miss the whole day.
He's not ready to play now.
He's not ready to play against the righty. then
Yes, I'm
what's
saying
he going to get? Miracle 3 hours going to heal him better? Like I don't know.
I hear you, Mike. I hear you.
And I think
Otherwise, it's about.
I think Thompson said that he hasn't swung a bat since it happened.
Well, then he's not playing today. Yeah. He's probably there. You go, Bill. He took him out for 3 games against the Braves. 3.
And if it was
and that has no effect on you.
And if it was intentional, then Strider should have had the answer for
He
it.
took him out for 3 games. Your best player. Let's go to Rob in South Jersey. Rob, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Rob.
Mike, what's up, man?
What's up, Rob?
Yeah, about the whole, beanball thing, I tend to go towards you more old school. My question is, what is the umpire etiquette before today's game? Like, listen, boys, we got 2 today. We know what happened on Monday. Do you think the teams are getting a pre-game warning? And if they are, is that the right thing to do for the umpire? I don't think it is. They have to give the Phillies a chance to hit back. Would you agree?
Yes. There would be no warning unless somebody gets hit early in this game. Then there will be a warning issued. But they're not going to warn before the game.
Yeah, and that's why if I'm the Phillies, I would do it. If there was any risk of, like, your starting pitcher getting hurt or anything, I wouldn't do it. It's not worth it. But the umpires are basically telling you have a free shot at them. I would take it.
Yes, that's exactly what the umpire's saying. The umpire know what the score was there. Ooh, man, Harper, he's out. You're going to miss 3 games in this series. They must be really angry about that, so we got to take that in consideration. They're not dumb.
Yeah, my second point is actually kind of funny. I told the producer I was talking about Ranger Suarez, and then you guys are talking about the hypothetical trade. That trade offer from the Orioles, that would never happen. Dave Dombrowski would be way too smart. There's too much value given up in that trade with Vic Abel and Ranger Suarez, and it'll just never happen.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Rob.
Sure.
Can the Phillies win the World Series with this bullpen?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that specific trade.
No. I'm asking you a question, and then we'll get to the trade. Can they win?
Oh, no, they cannot.
Oh, okay.
No,
So would Batista help that cause?
He would definitely help that.
Okay.
cause,
Well, then what are you worried about value?
Because they can get much better value for a Ranger from another team.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But you get a starting center fielder and a closer in a trade?
No, if they really wanted to get Ranger, they can definitely get a higher end relief pitcher.
I don't think so. Ranger's going to be a free agent, brother.
Yes, he is. But trust me, they can get much better value.
I don't think so. I really don't. You're getting a premier closer, and you're getting a starting center fielder.
But you're also throwing in Mick Abel too. Like, you're going to give away 2 guys like that for Felix Bautista.
Listen,
I don't even care about.
That's the price you have to pay for desperation. It's the Phillies put themselves in this situation. Nobody else did.
Well, let me ask you, as we're going down this road of potential trades. If Romano keeps pitching the way he's pitching, and Kirkring shows that he could be reliable, would you rather get a left-handed arm or a right-handed arm in that pen?
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. You still need to add
somebody. It doesn't matter.
Because if Romano is your true closer, if he proves to be what he's been mostly over the last few games.
How many great left-handed relievers are out there you can get? You probably can get a right-handed guy before you can get a left-handed guy. That said, I would love to replace Alvarado from the left side because my only guy now is Strahm. And I need to get an important left-hander out late. I don't have the guy.
Unless he doesn't throw heat, but Ranger becomes your left-handed arm.
Maybe that's the solution. Then you go out and get a righty. 610-632-0975. The story of the gift to Mormon women is coming up. Bill is on the edge of his seat. So is Ray. Ray can't figure it out. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader down at Citizens Bank Park. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies and Braves play a day-night doubleheader today, starting soon with the first game at Citizens Bank Park. Christopher Sanchez will be opposed by A.J. Smith-Shawver in Game 1. It'll be a battle of the 2 top finishers in NL Cy Young voting last year in Game 2 with Zach Wheeler and Chris Sale at 6:45. Elsewhere in South Philly, Eagles wrapped up their first 2 days of OTAs. Yesterday, we heard from a number of Eagles, including offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo for the first time. Patullo talked about his relationship with Nick Sirianni and how he sees their dynamic working together in his new role.
I think there's a lot of fundamental things that we see the same way, but I do think our brains work differently. So it's a good back and forth conversational piece that we have constantly. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that he believes in that I believe in as well. And we're going to do those things. But I do think we challenge each other to grow.
Outside Tulo speaking, two big storylines from yesterday's practice was Bryce Huff's absence and Cooper Jean playing outside corner during a portion of practice. The Union won 2-1 last night in the back of stoppage time goal from Kai Wagner. The win keeps the Union at the top of the Eastern Conference. This update's brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Get a wireless plan that saves you money and an extra trip. Switch to Straight Talk at your local Walmart while you shop for those oranges the kids love. It's real unlimited data with real convenience. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
6. Mike Missanelli Show. All right, I've teased it long enough. Time to reveal it. So let me read the story out of the New York Times. I'll just read the first paragraph, Bill. Some Mormon women are obsessed with something illicit. They're phoning friends, calling in favors, and paying for international shipping to get it. You know what it is?
Soda.
A tank top. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has redesigned its temple garments, which are worn by faithful members under their clothes. The garments are effectively underwear that until recently looked like white short-sleeve shirts and knee-length shorts. Now the church has removed the sleeve, turning them into tank tops. The church is releasing the tops to its more than 17 million members around the world in phases. It quietly announced recently that the new garments would first be available to members in hot, humid climates like those in Africa and Asia. They're not sanctioned in the United States yet. However, American influencers are sourcing them, trying to get them via online connections. There's a black market for the white tank top.
I'm confused. So they weren't permitted to wear tank tops before?
No. No, tank tops were taboo.
Really?
Yes.
What about bathing suits?
That's different. I'm talking about temple garments. When you go to temple, you can't wear you can't.
Okay, I got it.
Can't be a tank top under the clothes you're wearing.
So they could have worn these tank tops outside of.
I'm not so sure they could. It's not clear to me. I think the tank top was taboo in all phases. But we have to have a Mormon.
I should text
that would have to comment on that.
I should text my cousin. He converted.
He did? To Mormonism?
Yeah, he met a nice Mormon girl when he was out in Utah, and he married her, converted, has like 6 kids. All of them are Mormon. And
Some
they live
current
in Salt
members
Lake.
are not happy. They're saying these new garments are too revealing.
I'll have to research this after, Ray. I'm on the edge of my
Ray,
seat.
you have any thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on this, Ray?
The only thing I have on this is last week my roommate's girlfriend came over, and that's the only time television is really watched that's not sports inside of that living room. And what I got caught watching was the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which is a wild reality show.
It is very wild reality.
Have you watched that?
I watched a couple of episodes.
Yeah, it's something else. I got to see the season finale. I got caught up on everything. Be honest with you, I was kind of hooked for the next season. I was ready to go for the next season. How all these things happen, I'm very confused. But I was all in on it for about a half hour there.
Very interesting. Little culture there.
So that's all I have on the Mormon culture.
So I thought you misspoke just now when you said, according to the article in the New York Times, I thought it was like a New York Post article. No, this isn't.
New York Times,
this isn't the Times. This is like a legit article.
Misspeak. It's the New York Times.
Yeah, this is a legit article. I just found it.
Yes. What do you think? I was making it up? It was salacious?
I thought you misspoke, and I thought it was like a New York Post
and
article.
Because it was New York Post, it might have been salacious. This is true. Tank tops. See the freedom you have? All those tight shirts you wear, those unsightly tight shirts, nobody says boo about it. A Mormon wears a tank top, it's a violation.
Speaking of my shirts, a lot of people have been weighing in that this sweatshirt fits me appropriately.
It does. It's a shirt that does fit you appropriately.
It's funny. I said to my wife this morning, I thought it was a little baggy. A little too big, right?
My God. It's 1 o'clock. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live every day from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Let's start the 1 o'clock hour. Can we hear John Kincade has been, there's been this sound, this promo that's been running today. And this is not a topic that we've talked about yet, Bill. And maybe we should talk about it to start the 1 o'clock hour. And the topic is that Roger Goodell is hinting in the next CBA, the NFL may address the current salary cap system and whether or not it's working or not. Now, the Eagles have managed to really be crafty around the cap. So the provincial attitude is this is another way the league is targeting the Eagles and picking on the Eagles. So can we hear Johnny Kincade and the promo for today? It's been running.
John Kincade.
Every NFL team can do exactly what the Eagles are doing. And when we have an owner in this town where 2/3 of the NFL owners have more money than him, and they're going to claim that they're cash-strapped?
Talking about the Birds.
Are you kidding me? This is, again, the Eagles are playing chess. The owners are playing Connect Four. So in other words, it's let's dumb down the league so they can try to keep up with Howie Roseman and the Eagles and Jeffrey Lurie.
Hear John with Andrew Salciunas weekday morning 6 to 10. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Now, I'd be loath to criticize any other member of our beautiful staff here. But if that's not total fanboy pander, I don't know what is.
Now, John is not the only person, media, fan, that I've seen saying this exact thing.
Yeah.
Because, yes, Goodell came out, spoke to some reporters, and said they're going to take a look at the salary cap and the way it's used and is it being effective. And a lot of people immediately, like John, here they come again. You know, they're coming for us.
Eagles.
They're coming for us because we know, yes, Howie Roseman has been very good at circumventing the cap with the way they put these dummy years on. They give big signing bonuses, which is great that Jeffrey Lurie pays that money up front. But make no mistake about it. This has nothing to do with the Philadelphia Eagles. This has nothing to do with them coming after us again.
What's it have to do with? Let's get to the bottom line here. What's it have to do with?
The owners want to make more money. There's no doubt about it. Look, you got to understand the way the salary cap works in the NFL. The salary cap increases as revenue increases, which means the more money the NFL makes, not only do the owners make more money, but the players make more money. I think what the owners want to do is say, whoa. Our revenue is exploding. We don't want our salary cap to explode too. You guys will get paid well, but we want to get paid even more. This is all about money for the owners. This isn't about we can't figure out what Jeffrey Lurie does. We can't figure out what Howie Roseman does. It's we are billionaires and we want more.
Come on, man. Come on. Let's not get carried away here with this picking on the Eagles stuff.
Yeah, this is all about money, man.
All right, let's go back to the phones and talk to Mike and Conshohocken. Mike, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mike.
Mighty Mike, how you doing?
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Good. Let's talk some quickie old school. Now, first off, I'm more of a Kelly McGillis, Amish guy. In the morning.
Kelly McGillis in the movie Witness.
Oh, are you kidding me?
It's a great movie.
That is a great movie.
Yes, it starts right at 30th Street Station.
That's correct.
Yeah. Now let's talk about, we're talking old school. Well, the first thing I want to do, I heard you last week, I do want to take you back 50 years to when Pete Townsend and the boys came out on stage at the Civic Center, maybe number 2 concert of all time, 75.
Oh, you saw the smashing of the guitars?
You kidding me?
Yeah.
I think they started out with my. It was. But let's talk old school. Here's what I think the appropriate way to handle this hit by pitch thing is. 2 things. One,
Mike, can you first of all do me a favor? I can hardly hear you.
Man.
Can you take off the speaker part of it?
I'm kind of off the speaker. I'm kind of out and about.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me try to just run these couple things by you.
Okay.
One, what I do is I courteously go to the Braves and say, this first pitch is coming at your head. And if you don't want to be Tony C, and I know maybe most of our audience doesn't know Tony C, you better duck. And then you leave it at that. And then that's 1. 2, you basically, from now on, because this stuff has to stop. I know the Eagles have big doms, but you get about 2 or 3, medium doms. You stand them at the side of the dugout with huge bats.
Oh, come on, Mike. You're going crazy. You're going crazy on me now.
I'm going way crazy. Here,
you don't throw at anybody's head, first of all. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you are.
No.
That was right at the back.
You don't throw at anybody's head. That's dangerous.
3 games, Mike. You should out 3 games.
I get it, but you don't throw at anybody's head. You could do serious damage to a human being. You don't throw at anybody's head. You don't tell them you're going to throw at their head.
Let me ask you, though. Play it out. Somebody comes in and wants to do what you want them to do, which is throw at their ribs.
Mm-hmm. Easily done.
The guy makes the mistake of ducking to get out of the way. So the pitch is a little bit high.
Can't duck a ball that's coming at your torso. Can't duck it.
Pitch comes in a little high.
Can't get out of it.
They miss. Instead of getting at the ribs, it's coming towards the shoulder.
Pitchers don't miss.
They do, too.
No, they don't.
Stop.
Not when they're targeting. If they're going to hit you, they don't miss. They're accurate when it comes to that. You can't get out of the way of a pitch to your torso.
If they're throwing at his torso and they miss a little bit high, which is possible, You're saying they don't miss, but yet walks happen all the time. And the guy ducks and hits him in the head. Are you going to then be sitting here saying, well, I mean, they were trying to send a message?
Walks happen all the time because you missed the strike zone because you're trying to nibble. If you're trying to hit a guy in the flesh, you got like a 1 foot wide target to hit, and those guys don't miss. If they're trying to hit your torso, they don't miss your torso unless they're trying to throw behind you to make a statement, which is also a statement you can make. Throwing behind somebody. You don't hit them. You throw behind them. That's the message. In that case, that's when you might get tossed. So what you have to do is you hit somebody on the leg or the butt. No harm, no foul. The umpire doesn't overreact, and you get the message across. That's the way it's done.
I can't wait till this day is over of doubleheaders and we can move on when no one retaliates.
I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if retaliation is going to happen. That ship has sailed for me. You don't have to save it up. Last 2 nights ago was when you should have done it. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
610-632-0975. You're back to the text board. We're watching the Phillies game right now, and Sanchez gave up a leadoff hit. But then they got Riley, and Osuna, I think, was called out on interference because his backswing hit Marchand, who didn't throw out Albies at second base. They returned Albies to first, and I believe that Ozuna is out on that play. Is that what the ruling was?
Yeah, I mean, we have it on mute, but that's what I'm thinking happened. I'm waiting to get the update on it.
Called him out on interference?
On MLB, because it was a 1-0 pitch.
Yeah, all right. Well, then he was out on interference. I didn't realize that was the rule. I knew Albies had to go back to first base. I didn't realize the batter would be out if his recoil hit the catcher. On a steal attempt.
Yeah, Ray, is that the rule?
I believe so. I believe that's what they got him on. Again,
there you go.
Even on a 1-1
recoil.
A 1-0 count, he swings and misses.
It's catcher interference that puts that in play. If he had just hit him with no stealing, no stolen base, no catcher interference, he wouldn't have been out. So the catcher's interference that prevented the catcher from throwing out a guy at second base.
So now the batter's out.
Is the batter out?
It's an interesting rule.
It is. All right, Ray, what's the text board saying today with all our nonsense?
First-time text here. I think it's common for the NFL to review the salary cap on an annual basis, but to play devil's advocate for John, it looks like Goodell's timing is interesting after trying to ban the tush-push right into dumbing down the league after his failed attempts.
Why do we have to be this way? Why do we have to be that everybody's picking on us? It's so embarrassing.
The texter's not the only one.
It's insecurity. Come on.
The texter's not the only one. The YouTube chat's coming at me, too, saying this is exactly why they're trying to do it.
Come on.
Because the team has won twice in 5 years.
Oh, good Lord.
Look, maybe they will.
Why can't we grow up?
Maybe a part of the new CBA, they will address some of these dummy years and things that the Eagles do. But what I'm saying is that may be a part of it, but the main focus, it's about greed, man. They want more money for themselves. This isn't about...
Is Howie Roseman the only one who knows how to manage a salary cap in this league? So you got to punish him for it? Come on.
No, but I will say, it always shocks me how many bad GMs there are in this league.
No, I get that, but still, they're not all dummies. they all have strategic staffs that manage all this stuff.
But this is everyone's out to get Philadelphia. That's not what this is about.
Yeah, it's not. All right, let's go to Glenn in Wallingford. Glenn, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Glenn?
Hey, good afternoon, boys. How's it going today?
How you doing, Glenn? How are you?
Good, man. Hey, and I heard your conversation earlier about the Sixers and what expectations could be next year. And when you look at the East, I mean, the East is definitely not that good compared to the West. I mean, the West, depending on how Wembanyama comes back and some of these other teams like Memphis and how they kind of come back together. I mean, you can have 10, 11 teams who could be decent playoff teams out west. Where in the East, I think at the Sixers again. I know it's a big if, but depending on what they look like and what the roster ends up looking like, there's no reason why they can't compete for an Eastern Conference Final just based on no Tatum. And
Glenn, are you oblivious to the fact that the two-star players can't play more than 40 games?
That's why I said it's a big if. But I mean, there's
big if. It's not an if anymore. It's a reality.
Well, we don't know if Paul George is even going to be there, so we don't know what that situation is going to be like. I mean, Embiid will be here.
Just think it. No trades, no nothing. You drafted 3. That team that you set up next year, you think can actually be successful?
What's successful mean?
Well, I don't know. You define successful. Your definition is there's no reason why they can't make a run. You think they can make a run?
Yes. I think that they can. There's no reason in the East why they can't compete for an Eastern Conference Final.
You're delusional.
I'm delusional too, Glenn.
You're a delusional, a hopeful fan guy with your fingers crossed.
Honestly, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're crossing your fingers, Glenn. You're like trying to get a genie out of a bottle here.
Do you agree? Do you agree that the East is?
Yes, that doesn't mean I think the Sixers can make a run. They're older and less healthy.
Well, they got some young parts, so we'll see what they look like.
Where's the young parts that are going to make that much of a difference?
Well, with Maxey and some of the other guys that he got signed. I mean,
like who?
Obray's
Like who?
older.
Give me more than Maxey. Who you got?
I'm not going to give you some of the names.
Okay.
Because you're just going to because you'll.
Come on, Glenn. Let's be real about this.
The dude from Kentucky's a scorer. McCain's
Justin
is a
Edwards.
scorer.
Oh my God.
But McCain
who can't play with Maxey because they're both 6'2" guards. They can't defend anybody. McCain, right?
Well, again, you asked me today. Those are some young pieces.
Hey, Glenn, listen.
Again,
hey.
We don't know what the team's going to look like.
Knock yourself out. If that's what you believe, knock yourself out. I'm trying to guide you through a mean Hollywood maze here, where spooky things come out in the night. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to guide you. You think the same thing, for crying out loud.
I think what prompted Glenn's call was they clipped something I said yesterday on the show.
Oh, is that what it is?
And they put it on Twitter, and it was me saying yesterday on the show that the Eastern Conference is weaker. It will be weaker next year. There's no overly dominant team. And to Glenn's point, and I agree with this, I know it's a big if. But if Joel Embiid is healthy come playoff time, and Paul George plays more like he did in his contract year, you have enough pieces to compete.
Your ifs are as big as the sphere in Las Vegas. That's how big your ifs are.
You may be right, but what we cannot say with certainty, and you keep saying it with certainty, you cannot say with certainty that Paul George and Joel Embiid's careers are over.
Over.
You can't.
OVA. We have seen the best of both of those guys. Over.
I don't disagree that we've seen the best of them because you're right. As you get older, you're not better than you were when you were younger.
If we've seen the best, and how you think they could challenge for an Eastern Conference title?
Because the best of Joel Embiid 2 years ago was doing things we've never seen before.
That's not going to exist ever again.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He could be not as good as that and still be good enough in the Eastern Conference.
Listen. I've tried. I give up. All right, you want to believe what you can believe. There's also the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and Santa.
My son's got his first loose tooth. Tooth Fairy's coming to our house pretty soon.
Well, how much you paying for a tooth now?
He was asking me that last night, man. I don't know.
What are you paying? I want to see if you're cheap or not.
Maybe a 10 for the first tooth.
I think we're going rates 20 these days. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader down at Citizens Bank Park. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies and Braves playing a day-night doubleheader today, starting at 1:05, so they are in progress. Kyle Schwarber nearly hitting a home run against A.J. Smith-Shawver. Christopher Sanchez on the mound for the Phillies in that game. In Game 2, it's a battle of the top two finishers in Cy Young voting last year. Zach Wheeler against Chris Sale. Elsewhere in South Philadelphia, the Eagles wrapped up the first 2 days of OTAs yesterday. We heard from a number of Eagles, including offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo for the first time. Patullo was asked about his relationship with Nick Sirianni and how he sees their dynamic working together in his new role.
I think there's a lot of fundamental things that we see the same way, but I do think our brains work differently. So it's a good back and forth conversational piece that we have constantly. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that he believes in that I believe in as well. And we're going to do those things. But I do think we challenge each other to grow.
Outside Patullo speaking, two big storylines from yesterday. Bryce Huff's absence and Cooper Jean gets some time at outside corner during a portion of practice. Union last night won 2-1 over FC Toronto on the back of a stoppage time goal from Kai Wagner. The win keeps the Union at the top of the Eastern Conference. This update's brought to you by Discover. Did you know what's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide? If you guessed Discover, you guessed right based on the February 2024 Nielsen Report. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
632-0975. I see where you were a Karate Kid, man? Were you a Karate Kid fan?
Obsessed with Karate Kid.
So the movie is out, Karate Kid Legends.
And Machio's in it.
Machio has come back, but it's Jackie Chan in the Mr. Miyagi role.
Yeah, it was the original Mr. Miyagi was Pat. What was his name?
Pat Morita.
Pat Morita. There it is.
Who was Arnold in also the early days of Happy Days.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was.
He was Arnold.
But yeah, the first two Karate Kids were awesome.
Yes, and this one apparently is getting destroyed.
I saw the trailer.
It's got 1 star. Here's the headline on it. It says, Karate Kid review. Awful Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan sequel KO'd my will to live.
Well, it hasn't hit
the headline.
It hasn't hit theaters yet, so that's coming.
Hasn't?
No, it comes out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So that's got to be the critics who are giving it terrible reviews.
Yeah, it's a critic review.
So I won't go see it, but when I was a kid,
Jackie Chan is the wise, venerable Mr. Miyagi character. I mean, Jackie Chan's the guy who would beat crap out of people.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, Mr. Miyagi's dead. So
is he dead?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Miyagi's dead, or Pat Morita's dead, or both? Oh, both are dead.
Both. Yeah.
Oh, really? You couldn't hologram him for this movie?
Yeah. So, I don't think Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, come on.
Yeah, his name in the movie, I'm looking it up now, is Mr. Han.
Oh, he's Mr. Han. He's not Miyagi. Okay. Mr. Han related to Miyagi?
I think there's probably something.
I must be the only person
do you remember
was not a Karate Kid fan.
You weren't? Oh, I was going to ask you some trivia.
No.
See, Karate Kid 2, when they go to Okinawa, was awesome.
Do you remember when Ralph Macchio made an appearance on
Curb Your Enthusiasm? He was wasn't
not Curb. He did make it on Curb, but on I forget the name of it now with Vince and the guys and E.
Oh, Entourage.
Entourage.
Yes.
Yeah. At the Playboy Grotto, they ran into him.
Yes, and he was mad because Drama said he got him kicked out. It was Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, Ralph Macchio.
Because he was doing a karate kick or something, and he broke something of Hugh Hefner's.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the phones. We got Uncle Frank checking in. What's up, Uncle Frank?
Michael.
What's up?
The Delaware Valley needs more Mad Dog Russo twice a week, damn it.
No, man, I can't do it. I strain my vocal cords.
Oh, it's so good.
It's tough on the vocal cords.
Let him throw some current events at
Who's this Mr. Miyagi? I don't know him.
You got the accent. So let me preface before making my salient point. And, Ray, get ready for this, okay? Oh, by the way, Bill, have you ordered your Mormon tank top yet?
You gotta get them clandestinely, man. The Mormons in America, they can't get them yet.
This may be a surprise to many. I don't own any tank top.
Oh my God, that's the upset of the century.
Yes,
upset of the century.
Yeah,
Mr. Muscles Marinara doesn't own a tank top.
I mean, let's be honest here.
I gotta pull over.
I would look phenomenal in a tank top. I mean, we know that.
Oh God,
I should get them.
Jesus, Uncle Frank, come on, man, hammer him, Uncle Frank.
So, let me just say this. Get ready, Ray. I saw on TMZ, you were mentioning Mary Lou Retton, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That the reason the police initially pulled her over, she was driving erratically, but it was because she had just slid off the 3 phone books that she was sitting on to see over the wheel.
Oh,
come on, Ray.
That's not as good as walking.
Hey.
Come on.
Oh, yes, it blows that away.
Oh, it doesn't blow that way. Come on.
Listen to me. Mm-hmm. So, I want someone, Bill, pay attention. I want someone plunked today and a sweep. Give me a bloodletting. You know? You need to unleash hell, Bill. It's been an unwritten...
See, for Uncle Frank, I gotta admit, for a macho guy that Bill is, a little soft on this issue. Very soft.
I know, he's awful. You know, I'm surprised.
Because, baseball is foreign to him. It's a foreign concept.
I just don't think it makes you tough to throw a baseball at somebody. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not. That's not the point, though. It's been an unwritten law since, and listen, borders on being sacrosanct since Abner Doubleday was rounding the bases. I mean,
he went Abner Doubleday.
He did. Look, I understand. I understand. I kept saying if it was intentional, which is what Rob Thompson said. But so you're telling me, Mike, in all the years that you watch baseball, anytime a player gets hit, there's an immediate retaliation?
No, it's all in perspective. I swear to God, my voice comes out and it does not like nestle in your brain.
Are you talking right now?
Everything is measured. Okay, they've been throwing at Harper a lot. He's been hit too many damn times.
Well, not the Braves, other teams.
Doesn't
but
matter.
Go ahead.
It does not matter that it wasn't the Braves. The pitch. He's trying to pitch him inside. You got cute. You pitch inside. You hurt a guy. You hurt my guy, and you got him out of the game for 2 games. He's not going to play in 2 games, and maybe the whole series. That reaction right there should have been visceral to the pitcher. The next inning, who measures up, he goes, all right, who do I have? I got Albies. I can afford to hit him because after him, I got 7, 8, 9. They're not going to hurt me that bad. It's early in the game. A butt shot here. Boom. That's the end of it.
I understand the unwritten rules in other terms. Like we talked about it yesterday. A guy stealing a base in an 8-0 game. Or, if you do something that really shows up someone. Or you come in too hard at second base and you try to take a guy out with the way you slide and you got your cleats up. Like, things like that are different. An inadvertent pitch that just got away from Strider, I don't think warrants a retaliation.
Doesn't matter in the context of the whole situation. Okay, you're ignoring the context and you're just looking at the one pitch. You got to look at the context of it. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
and it should have been done in the inning that followed. And then we wouldn't even be talking about it. And happy ever after. But then Rob Thompson almost puts a seal of a good approval on it. And that bugs me more than anything. Good housekeeping seal of approval.
I told you I've been getting killed in the YouTube chat. This is a good one I got to read. So JM comes at me. He says, being tough is doing your own yard work, not eating almond butter, and spending 20 minutes on a Smith machine.
Exactly.
All right, JM.
Exactly.
Touche on that one.
There you go.
Well, clearly the Phillies felt the way that me and Ray felt because they're not going to retaliate. And I think we're going to get through this whole series without retaliation.
You're probably right.
And the fans will be upset.
And it's going to be forgotten about, and that's what I didn't want it to be forgotten about. That's all. Take care of it, bing, bang, move on.
Wait, bing, bang? No boom?
Bing, bang.
Usually there's a boom at the end of that. A bing,
what
bang,
did Sonny Corleone say in The Godfather? Bada beep, bada bit, bada bit, bada bit. Right? What'd they say? Bada beep, bada bit.
Well, I got to change the subject for 1 second because I want to ask Ray. You and I were talking, and I know I'm pipe dreaming about the Sixers. And we know Ray, big season ticket holder to the Sixers. We had the guy call in, say they could make a run in the Eastern Conference next year. Ray, I know it's a big if, but are you willing to come on the ride with me with the if?
I mean, by October, yeah, of course I'm going to buy the ride. Right now, I'm not going to let myself buy the ride. You kidding me? I just came off of that season. Glenn just packaged up that season. Glenn must have tuned. I don't want I love Glenn from Longford, but he probably packaged them up by January and was like, yeah, you know what? I'll catch you guys next fall. And he's gotten his hopes back up. I've still got the disgust of the way that season went, kind of festering. I can't yet jump to that point.
I refuse to sanction people who believe in the ruse. This ruse that something magically is going to happen to change this and transform this team into an Eastern Conference contender. Oh, but if they're all healthy. But they're not going to be all healthy. We know this. This is the sure sign. This is the certainty that we know more than anything that they're not going to be healthy.
I forgot I was sitting next to an MD. Didn't realize it.
No,
You've taken
MG.
a look. You've taken a look at Joel's knee. You went in with the MRI yourself?
I'm an MG, not an MD. Right. But what do I have to be? Marcus Welby? Or what did they say?
James Andrews? Was that his name? No.
Take him down the street. Take him to down the street. Take him to Ben Casey. Right? All these TV doctors.
Who was the knee guy? Was it Dr. Andrews, right?
Yeah, you got it right.
James Andrews.
Yeah, he was
the orthopedic guy.
Yeah, did all the knees.
He did everything.
My point about Joel to you was, when he was healthy, he was the most dominant scorer we've ever seen. I get that you're saying he never gets back to that level, but you may not need him to be at that level with the way the Eastern Conference is going to shape up next year.
You're missing that the game has completely changed from the cumbersome center. You don't find a cumbersome center anymore. So what kind of style are they going to play? You watching the Indiana Pacers play?
Yeah, you can't run this. I don't want to see them run the offense through Joel next year.
Okay. Well, then who are you going to run it through? What's he going to be?
Hit it,
He's going to be
Ray.
a mannequin?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Little Quentin Grimes action next year.
Yeah, run it through Quentin Grimes. Yeah, sign me up for season tickets. 610-632-0975. Got to be kidding me. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Ray will be on the if train.
How come you're not singing this anymore? What's wrong? Well, and they stay there.
My throat hurts a little bit.
Wait, is that what it is?
Oh.
Got a little tickle in the throat.
Little tickle.
Little tickle.
By the way, did you see this story that There's going to be a docu-series on the remaking of Cobbs Creek Golf Course. You know Cobbs Creek Golf Course? You aware of the history?
I am not.
Cobbs Creek Golf Course was a public course that opened in the 1910s, somewhere in there.
1916.
All right, 1916. It was recognized as the Great Uniter because it was public and anybody could play and the whole thing. And over the years, it had to be shut down in 2020. There was flooding and safety concerns, and it wasn't well kept. And Jordan Spieth and Tiger Woods backed this rehab project at Cobbs Creek, and there's going to be a docu-series on it.
All right. Sounds good.
That didn't move you at all, did it?
No.
That did not move you.
No.
You didn't grow up on this side of the river. You're not aware of the history of Cobbs Creek Golf Course.
I guess I'm not.
Maybe it'd be something you want to watch.
But I thought
learn something about golf in the area.
What I thought you were going to tell me was if I saw this news. Ray, do you mind hitting the Flyers horn for me? There it is. Tyson Forster re-signed 2 years, $3.75 million annual value. Flyers bringing back the youngster Tyson Forster.
I'm not so sure if that's bigger news than Michael Carter Williams making his boxing debut tonight.
Hey, Forster.
But Michael Carter Williams, I always looked at him like a soft player. Now he's a boxer?
I can't wait.
Wait, Ray, did you see, too? Heavyweight division.
I'm all in.
He's in really? He's fighting heavyweight?
Heavyweight. Now, maybe it's because he's so tall.
He's tall. I'm sure. What is but his weight has got to be like 225?
Let me see.
He is
6'6".
I thought he was taller than that.
So he's 6'6", but how much does he weigh?
Got to be 225.
He's listed on Wikipedia as being 190 pounds. He probably put on some weight, I would think, to be a heavyweight. Like, what's the heavyweight? Boxing?
Heavyweight. You go heavyweight. You can fight at 200 pounds.
200, yeah. So you put on about 10 pounds then. All right, so that's today.
Michael Carter Williams, a boxer. Ray, your feelings about that?
This is awesome. Listen, man, this is a top-tier athlete going into another sport. Let's get some fighting going.
You like
here.
that?
Yeah, why not? If everyone's going to do it, why not? I like this a lot better than Le'Veon Bell doing it.
Okay, who's he? Where is this happening? He's fighting Sam
New York.
Khatib at the Lehman Ballroom in New York.
It's an amateur match, right? It's
Lehman Ballroom.
Wait. What time?
Broad Street Brawl, it's called. So I don't think it's on TV.
It's not on TV, but it's up in New York. I mean, if I get going now, I could probably make it.
Who you kidding, Ray? As excited as you would be for MCW, you're not missing Wheeler versus Sale.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, so
no
I love
way.
the MCW. Not missing that tonight.
Huh. Ray can't wait for this. Are you trying to go to the game tonight?
I don't know. I'm debating it. I got a doctor's thing.
Oh, Ray's getting the ankle checked out.
What's wrong with your ankle, Ray?
Oh, when I was training for Broad Street, I rolled it and I was limping around here for a few days.
You don't remember that story? He was
running.
He was running along Kelly Drive.
Nope.
A really pretty girl ran by him.
Already wrong.
He turned. He rubbernecked and he tripped.
Yeah, that's not how that happened at all.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You rubbernecked it, Ray?
No, I wish it was that. Honestly, it would be stronger story if that was what happened.
All right.
But no, it didn't happen that way.
Let's get back to the phones. We got Steve on the line. Steve from Westchester. What's up, Stevie?
How's it going, everybody?
Good, Steve.
Great Goodfellas pull with Ben Casey, by the way.
Take him to the doctor. Nobody knows who that is. Take him to Ben Casey.
Michael Imperioli? Of course I know who that is. Absolutely. The actor, you mean?
No. Ben Casey.
Oh, the doctor. Oh.
You know who Ben Casey was? You know why that reference comes out? See, nobody knows what it is. Ben Casey used to be an old TV show that featured a doctor named Ben Casey. And the opening of it was man, woman, birth, death, infinity. They put the symbols on the TV screen. That's why he said take him to Ben Casey, because that was a reference.
I see.
That?
See, you learn something every day.
Huh?
Yeah, from the 50s, 60s, whenever that...
there you go, and that's what they were referencing.
Yeah. Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you for that. And I couldn't listen to much of the show, but in the beginning you mentioned something about an article you read about somebody talking about if an athlete wants to play in Philadelphia, they need to know the town. And
yeah, well, it was Kevin Nagandi was on the morning show today, and he said that a player has to understand the city. And I'm not really sure what that meant.
Well, I have 2 points to make about that. First of all, that's a little bit self-righteous, number one. Number two, when do the athletes train for this? In the minors, in college, in high school, to prepare for this? I don't understand.
I don't know what that means. First of all, I assume it means you got to be a hard-nosed, tough player who hustles all the time.
Yeah.
But understanding the city meaning what? You have to understand the way the fans react to you. Well, we're normal fans. We want one thing: performance, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a bit. I think we're taking it a bit too far.
I think so too, and I think Gandhi was taking it a little too far because I don't really know what he meant by that. And I love Kevin Gandhi, but I don't understand a couple things today. I don't understand what the Gandhi said.
Well,
I don't understand what Kincade said. So I got a big question mark above my forehead.
Okay. As far as the Bryce thing, I don't know if you subscribe to this. Obviously, I know where you stand as far as retaliation. Aren't there also degrees of retaliation? Like, you don't have to headhunt everybody as far as sending a message. A couple inside pitches to send messages for retaliation and all that. So there's ways to do it without really just
sending a message. Yeah, if you don't want to hit him, you don't want to hit him. To me, the safest thing is you hit him in the torso. That's not going to hurt anybody. You got meat down there. You hit him in the butt, and then you move on.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it should have gone on.
They KO'd the Phillies' best player in this series. To me, that resonates with me.
Yeah, it should not have gone unchecked. I completely agree.
All right, you got it, Stevie. Thanks for checking in. How about my man Steve?
Yeah,
very thought-provoking call.
Very thought-provoking call. And when we talk about Goodfellas, you probably knew this already. Did you know the idea of you know how Ray always plays the drop? I'm funny how.
Yeah.
Do you know that was Pesci's idea for that scene?
Yeah, I lived it.
He went to Scorsese and said he had seen something similar.
Yes.
And then they didn't tell Liotta, so that Liotta's reaction was real.
Yeah.
And now it's one of the most memorable scenes.
Yeah.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
I mean, that's a great line.
It is a great line, but you know what's funny in that scene? Like, he's acting like a crazy hooligan, right? Criminal, and he gets the rolling rack and he throws it at the waiter, the poor waiter who is trying to collect on the check. And the guy didn't want to come over. He got the check. Hey, tell him to put it in my tab.
By the way, breaking news here. Did you see who just went yard?
Home run? Who hit it?
2-run blast by none other than Rafael Marchand.
Get out of here. You gave up a 2-run homer to Marchand?
Well, how about first he gives up a double to Marsh, and then a 2-run shot to right.
Well, there you go.
From Rafael Marchand.
Rafael Marchand.
That's it. Don't need to extend JT. We've got our catcher of the future.
That's a sign that they win game one. Marchand, it's a home run.
There we go. Stubbsy. Staying in Lehigh Valley, I guess.
Poor guy. He was hoping every time Marchand comes up, what do you think Stubbs is?
He's probably like, strike out. Strike out.
Let's go back to the text board. Right, what do we have?
We got John from Swedesboro, who's not going to get his wish today because this already happened. If I'm Rob Thompson, I'm telling Sanchez to hit the first 2 batters tonight. He hit our best player, a surgically repaired elbow, which could have ended his season. Worst case scenario, send a message to everyone else by ending it tonight. Hit Albies and Riley. First 2 pitches.
No, you don't do that. So you put yourself in the first and second, nobody out whole in the first inning. It's tough to pitch in that. That's foolish. This is why you got to put it in a proper perspective. That's why I'm not reacting like a barbarian. I'm reacting strategically here. There's a time to do it. There's a time not to do it.
A little barbarian of you, but.
No. It's like I'm saying today that, no, don't do it today. To me, the ship has sailed.
You know what ship hasn't sailed?
What's that?
Rita's Water Ice is here for us today.
Oh, now? What? Oh, now they're with for us. Now
yes.
At the end of the show, they're
Rich just came by from sales holding up a big tub of Rita's Water Ice.
Yeah.
That makes my day.
How about that, right?
I wanted something to eat right now.
A little Rita's before you head out of here?
I had Rita's after I did a little par 3 golf on Monday. Whew.
Would have been nice an hour.
By the way, I didn't want to jinx it, but now that we're almost up against the end of the show, we're going to fall.
At the end of the show,
we're going to fall short. Andrew in our YouTube chat is our statistician.
Statistician.
Is it a statistician? I'm all messed up. He keeps the stats.
He keeps the stats.
He keeps the stats. And since the phone lines were fixed, our record for most calls in a day was 14, and we came up one short today.
We came up one short
today.
Wow.
So he keeps stats on this.
Oh, we love the calls.
So maybe we'll beat it tomorrow.
We could break a record. Now that people know that there's a record to be broken.
Yes, Andrew keeps them. He keeps all his stats for us. Thank you, Andrew, from Lambertville.
All right. By the way, our Fanatic Deal of the Week. I forgot to tell the people about our Fanatic Deal of the Week.
This is the best deal of the week.
Pretty good one, man. Maurice Pierce, same-day ride and water park combo ticket to Maurice Pierce for just $70. For you people that have bought tickets, you know it's a lot more than that. That's a $50 savings per ticket for unlimited rides on 3 piers and both water parks for a whole day. Make the summer unforgettable at Maurice Pierce, which I was there on Saturday.
Yes, you were on Saturday.
Saturday.
You see, you threw in a Saturday because you were in
and I was there early in the evening, and apparently the police had there's a lot of youngsters. There's a lot of kids that go on that boardwalk now. They had to come out with the horses.
Well, I thought, don't they limit to school bags on the boardwalk past a certain time?
I don't know, but the horses made an appearance. And here's something else on the Wildwood Boardwalk that I noticed. They're putting down the Trex instead of the wood.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yes. They're replacing the old splintered wood, which you got splinters on.
I don't like that.
With the Trex. Oh, that's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade, but there's something about the wood and the sound.
Well, there's some wood on it, but in the passages in the middle and where the tram car's going, it's the artificial.
It's not cheap, Trex.
It's not. That's what I'm saying. Why would Missile come into some money?
Now, if you would take advantage of this deal and you're going on all these rides and you go on one of the roller coasters.
Yeah.
Are you one of the no hands guys?
No.
No hands in the sky?
No,
right, you with no hands?
No.
I just learned how to scream on a roller coaster. That alleviates the stomach.
I never got the no hands.
I
never got the no hands.
Wait. Just the time. I'll run this back real quick. You were there Saturday?
Yeah.
What time Saturday?
No, you weren't there Saturday.
When was I?
Your days are getting
Sunday?
messed up. You were there Sunday because I was at your house on Saturday.
Oh, early evening, Sunday.
Okay. Oof.
Why?
Because if you did the early evening on Saturday, I literally ended up at Seaport Pier on Saturday in the early evening.
Oh, really?
We would have been within.
I could have won you a water gun prize, man.
Yeah. And then I could have taken it to the bar, given it to someone. I would have been a hero.
You would have been a hero. Would have been a good pickup line. Anyway, this exclusive offer, you can get it while supplies last on our website, 975thefanatic.com. So what did we settle today? Nothing really about retribution and retaliation. So we'll just have to follow these 2 games with the Phillies and the Braves. Phillies up in game 1. That's all good. Let's see if they can sweep the Braves out of here.
Yeah, and things may get interesting because the starting pitcher for the Braves, Smith Schwarber, is being checked out by trainers right now.
Get into the pen early.
So it looks like he's out of the game, meaning pen early for game 1 of a doubleheader. Not good news for the Braves.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.